Ukrainians have now left the country as refugees. Matthias Redzviluk is director of Word of Life, one of many charities trying to help get people out.
Many of them are leaving, the majority of them, hoping this will end soon. And so they're not looking for a prospect of just, starting over in some other country.
He was on Fox News at night. The drug maker Moderna is hoping the feds will approve a second booster dose of its coronavirus vaccine for all American adults.
Earlier this week, Pfizer had asked for federal approval to give a fourth shot of its COVID vaccine to people over 65. That would mean 2 boosters on top of the original 2 shots. Now, Moderna's going a step further, requesting authorization for a fourth shot of its vaccine for all adults. The company said it wants to give flexibility to the CDC and medical providers to determine who gets that additional booster. That means it could go out to people at a higher risk of death or serious illness from COVID, regardless of their age. In Washington, Jill Nato, Fox News.
3 men are charged with murdering a security guard during a TV news crew robbery in Oakland in November. One of them is still at large. America's listening to Fox News.
I struggled with symptoms like frequent gas and stomach pain for years.
I was bloated all the time with daily diarrhea.
At first, I thought it was what I was eating.
I kept thinking it was stomach issues.
So I did my research and talked to my doctor, and we finally uncovered the truth.
It was actually EPI. Exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, is a condition where your pancreas is unable to help break down your food.
It can lead to symptoms like diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools.
And EPI symptoms can be confused with those of other common digestive conditions, like irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's, and celiac disease.
So getting to the right diagnosis meant being more open with my doctor about the severity of my symptoms and how often they were happening.
But there's good news. EPI is manageable, so don't wait any longer. Use the symptom checker at identifyepi.com and schedule a visit or call with your doctor to ask, could I have EPI?
Sponsored by AbbVie.
93.9 The Eagle News Time with Robinson's Cleaners. Robinson saves you time. It is 6:03. We're expecting a rainy day today. Showers, possibly some storms today with a high of 59. We're definitely going to feel cooler today. You're going to need your jacket this morning. Showers likely tonight, cold, low near 38. Tomorrow, Phil Mickelson jacket weather, sunshine, high of 56 degrees. Good morning, everyone, and here's some of the stories that we're working on for you at this hour. Boone County firefighters worked 7 outdoor fires on Thursday. Strong winds did play a role in them spreading. In nearby Callaway County, a wildfire burning more than 500 acres in the Holt Summit area.
Fire officials say strong winds and people burning material caused 7 fires to erupt in Boone County today. Some of the fires happened on East Bowling Lane and State Farm Parkway. And in Callaway County, officials say 7 departments worked to put out a fire that burned over 500 acres of land for nearly 2 hours.
That is ABC 17's Kennedy Miller reporting from the scene there near Holt Summit. Again, no injuries are reported. Kennedy, thank you. Meantime, Columbia's growth and economic development have impressed Columbia, the mayor, and also Missouri Governor Mike Parson, who says the city is in a fast track. The governor tells 93.9 The Eagle that he sees new shopping centers, stores, and housing developments every time he visits Columbia.
But it goes back to 2 basic fundamentals. If you don't have the workforce to supply the demands, and if you don't have the infrastructure in place to make people want to come here, and Columbia's figured out those 2 things are key priorities.
Governor also praises Mizzou's $220 million next-gen precision health building, the primary goal of the facility, making health care more affordable. Speaking of the governor, he says his overseas trade mission to the UK and to Ireland highlight the importance of international trade to Missouri's economic success. The governor says Missouri exported a total of $484 million in goods to those 2 nations. In 2021, chemicals top exports. The nonprofit Hawthorne Foundation funding the trade mission. The governor is joined by 4 state lawmakers, 2 Republicans, 2 Democrats. Senators Elaine Gannon, DeSoto, Greg Razor, Kansas City. State Representatives Derek Grier, Chesterfield, and Donna Behringer of St. Louis. The Department of Agriculture Director Chris Chin of Northeast Missouri's Clarence is also on the trip. Columbia's outgoing mayor is joining fast-growing equipment share as its vice president. That's according to Como Buzz. The mayor says he looks forward to continuing his work with a great local company like Equipment Share. A Columbia man could be heading to prison for life after being convicted of second-degree murder, the 2020 death of his neighbor on Sycamore Hills. The Boone County jury convicting David Myers as well. Armed criminal action. Sentencing for Myers will take place on April the 22nd. And you won't be able to eat at the Just Jeff South Columbia location on Green Meadows for a few weeks. It's closed right now due to staffing issues. It's according to a Facebook post from ownership. One of their employees having surgery. They don't have enough employees to run that operation and also the restaurant on the business loop. 93.9 The Eagle News is brought to you in this 6 o'clock hour by the folks at AirServe Heating and Air Conditioning. For all of your heating needs, log on to airserve.com. 93.9 The Eagle News Time, 6:06. Turning our attention now to sports, some pretty good information here in terms of activities, because we've got a lot of different sports here at this time of the year that are merging. Some are ending, some are just getting underway. For the Mizzou women, their season ends yesterday. The basketball team finishes its season 18-13. This is a heartbreaking loss for Mizzou. They started this game on a 10-0 run. In the end, they fall to Drake in overtime, 83-78 last night at Mizzou Arena in Columbia. Blackwell did have a shot to win the game in regulation time. Off-balance shot in a way, but she had to get the shot off because time was running out. It falls short. They go into overtime. Again, Mizzou loses at 83-78. And the Cardinals are coming. Tra-la, tra-la. If I had that song from Harry Carey, we'd play it. Maybe we will later. But the Cardinals and the Astros today, 12:05 is the first pitch, and that game will be taking place in Florida. Our news time, 6:07. All right, Kevin, thanks so much. Weather is brought to you by AirServe Heating and Air Conditioning. The temperature is going to stay pretty steady today. We're at 53. Traffic check, midmohires.com. Local companies are looking for local people. Our sun will rise at 7:16. It will set at 7:19 this evening. Roads are quiet. If you want to report a traffic issue, 573-874-9390. More team coverage in less than 30 minutes. Breaking news immediately. I'm Brian Hauswirth, 93.9 The Eagle.
Good about some things, and that's what we love about Feel Good Fridays. You share what it is that you are grateful for today, and then we get into the news. And then it just Just completely. I know there's a lot of heavy stuff out there. I want to make sure you know what's going on as you head into work today. We'll be doing that. Sandy says, I feel good. My husband made it safely to Detroit for the NCAA wrestling tournament. What are you grateful for today? What are you feeling good about? Please let us know. 874, excuse me, 9390. 874-9390.
Because this is the year the Cardinals are coming.
Yes.
I don't know what year.
That would have been the
1940s?
No,
Yeah. By the way, there's a lore. That whole story.
Oh my goodness! I mean, and then he did the press conference out at Bush's Grove out there in Ladue, and he had, as I recall, it was a Schlitz that was in his hand as he did his press conference. But that notwithstanding, I think that song, our callers, that my dad would remember, your dad would probably remember. I want to say mid '60s. Maybe 64, but it was Styx, Barron, Fuller that put that ad together, and it was so popular. So, but every time I hear that, I think of Styx, Barron, Fuller, and of course, when I was growing up, you probably too, Brandon. You had to be rich to go shopping there. That was where the rich people went.
Growing up, places like Famous Bar and Styx, Barron, Fuller, and even Dillard's at the time.
Yeah.
Oh, that's we'll see you on our way to Kmart to catch some blue light specials.
That's right, exactly.
Welcome into the show today. There's a really, really big story for a couple of years. Hunter Biden's laptop. Russian disinformation. The New York Post, and I think a lot of folks didn't put stock into this because the story, one of the original news outlets on this was the New York Post. Now, the New York Post in New York, and even to an extent nationwide, has kind of almost a tabloid vibe to it. So I think that's one of the reasons folks didn't put stock into this. Fox has been on this. Several news outlets have been on this. The New York Times and the White House have continued to say, no, Hunter's laptop, which has to do with Ukraine. Mm-hmm. By the way, and I get real deep down in this conspiracy what-if barrel, Hannah. How big's the barrel this morning? Because I can dig way deep. Hunter Biden's laptop and his dealings with the company Burisma, Ukrainian-based company, and Hunter not using his father's influence to affect decisions there. And now Ukraine is being invaded by... There's definitely some conspiracy theories to be had there.
What kind of what-ifs are we talking about? Like, do I need to go get the tinfoil out of your desk? Are we to that point?
So now the New York Times, which is supposed to be, to an extent, the bastion of nationwide journalism, and it's not. And listen, here, this is not just... Again, this is not just a conservative talking point, but the New York Times, they don't always, and listen, there's a lot, I'm not just picking on the New York Times. Sure. All sides of the aisle, there's news outlets, they just, But the New York Times, in what seemed pretty clear, even leading up to the election in 2020, was, hey, the guy who's running for president, his kid, who has a sordid past anyway, with drugs and hookers and prostitutes, cocaine, all that stuff, is also doing work with a power company in Ukraine, and emails reference Joe Biden. Never said his name, but it was always the big guy. Joe Biden in these email exchanges, the big guy, my guy. So here's the big story this morning. Forgive the profanity, but you have got to be us. That's an op-ed from the New York Post, and here's why. The New York Times, finally... Readers of the New York Times, in effect, they know what most of us knew almost 2 years ago. The New York Times is finally confirming, they have now confirmed Hunter Biden's laptop after dismissing it amid the 2020 campaign. The Times report focused on the investigation into Hunter Biden's taxes and his international business dealings. And they said basically, it's Russian disinformation. There's nothing there, and they stayed hot on this, as did the White House back in 2020. Everybody around Biden's campaign, this is Russian disinformation. Just 5 months ago, Jen Psaki was asked as we were learning more stuff, hey, is there some dealings here? Did somebody inappropriately use the political influence of a guy who served in the Senate for 187 years, served as vice president, now running to be president? Is his son leveraging his name, his political influence to gain favoritism with an international company? She was asked about this just 5 months ago.
The president has said, and you have tweeted, that allegations of wrongdoing based on files pulled from Hunter Biden's laptop are Russian disinformation. There is a new book by a Politico reporter that finds some of the files on there are genuine. Is the White House still going with Russian disinformation?
I think it's broadly known and widely known, Peter, that there was a broad range of Russian disinformation back in 2020.
Okay.
So two things there. Peter. Two things. Number one, she didn't answer the question because he's asking specifically about Hunter, the president's kid, and Ukraine. And this more he's saying, hey, there's a book that comes out that's laying this stuff out. She didn't answer the question as it relates to the dude she represents. She reps Joe Biden. She reps the White House.
Bless her heart.
And she, well, doesn't answer the question. Well, there's a lot of Russian disinformation, which could be an accurate statement, but not answering the question. And we know why she didn't answer the question, because they know that this was going on. So previously, the Times had dismissed the Biden laptop story as Russian disinformation. And this was all, remember, at the height of the 2020 presidential campaign. The Times also claimed during the same time frame when Psaki just months ago said, no, Russian disinformation. They lambasted the New York Post. The Times went after the Post, saying that the Post's reporting on the laptop was unsubstantiated, according to the New York Post. And the New York Post had been on this for over a year and a half. Hunter Biden's laptop contained emails, text messages, photos, and financial documents between himself, his family, and associates, business associates, that showed how he used his political influence in his foreign business dealings. And by the way, this is a story that's being covered by, I don't think you're going to find it on CNN or MSNBC. You are seeing it on the New York Times. You are now seeing some international media outlets picking up this story. Then the Times later scrubbed some wording from its original story dismissing this stuff. Now, according to the New York Post, Hunter Biden's laptop contained emails, text messages, all this stuff that had to do with Burisma Holdings. The New York Post, they had their Twitter account suspended because they were reporting on this. Despite the fact the New York Post said, we can back all this up, we have facts, and they posted their links onto Twitter. Twitter deleted those stories. Twitter deleted the New York Post account. Why? Not because it was inaccurate, because it doesn't fall in line with the belief of Twitter. There's more.
Happy Feel Good Friday.
Well, we should be. This is something to feel good about. We've been right all along, right? As recently as September 2021, and again, this goes back to the White House. Remember the timeline here, and this is important too. This audio from Psaki, when Psaki was asked this question about, hey, there's more stuff that's proving what we've been saying for a while.
I'm still going with Russian disinformation.
I think it's broadly known and widely known, Peter, that there was a broad range of Russian disinformation back in 2020.
Okay.
And I love that, by the way.
Peter.
Besides the, okay, Peter. I love Peter's statement there at the end.
Okay.
Okay. In other words, I hear what you're saying, but I know you're lying. To me, that's what I hear there when he's saying, okay. Because that's what
he's deciding to pick his battles there.
That's right. He doesn't have to attend every single argument that he is invited to. He's like, okay. And okay is just a shorter way of saying, well, bless your heart. And it's a shorter way of saying a lot of things. My dad and grandpa used to pull that on me all the time. I'd be talking, I'd be 20, 21, 25 years old. I knew everything. And my grandpa would just look at me, and he'd look down below his glasses, and he'd just go, okay. Man, and that would hurt. So Psaki said that September 21. The Times, as recently as September 2021, saying this is all unsubstantiated. So in other words, the Times is just repeating what the White House is saying, because that's what the Times is. They're a function for the Democrat Party. Huge story this morning. And potentially, because now that the New York Times is on this, we'll see how far this goes, but proving potentially what a lot of us have been saying all along. And how many times has this happened, by the way? Recent history is strewn with great examples of, oh, it's not true. When you get these national progressive news outlets, it's not true, it's not true. Well, and by the way, the other thing that happened in 2020 when New York Times was hard on this story that, oh, it's just Russian disinformation. Of course, the election. And of course, now that Joe's taking naps in the Oval Office, he's safely there at least until 2024, unless he dies first. Now the New York Times is on it. Welcome into a Feel Good Friday. There's Hannah, the producer.
Wow, good morning.
My name is Branden.
Yikes.
Coming up, Daily D.C. Rundown. I want to find out some other things that are happening in Washington, D.C. Apparently, Joey is going to be talking to China today. That'll be interesting. Repair shop on my side, because when you have a car that's not running well, that dis-ease you have every morning you're getting in the car, or if you're going like, oh, I got to make a trip to Kansas City, I don't know if my car can make it. I don't have any of that, and I have a car that's almost as old as Hannah is. It's got over 135,000 miles. I don't get uncomfortable. I don't have those feelings of fear that my car's not going to work, because I have it serviced, I have it worked on, I have anything that needs to be repaired, I have it done at Gap's Automotive Repair Shop. And this adds even more confidence, is that whenever I take it in, they're looking at things, and they'll say, and not like, oh, you need to get this done today, right now, or else you can't even take it out of here. It's not that. It's like, hey, here's some things that you might want to consider in the coming months. That's why I use Gap's Automotive Repair Shop, and I would highly encourage you to do the same. Gap's Automotive Repair Shop. They're on Vandiver in Columbia and in Boonville.
Moving forward with Branden Rathert and Wake Up Columbia. 93.9 The Eagle.
The United States does not have the qualification to say that it wants to speak to China from a position of strength.
So that, of course, that happened right after January 20th, 2021. That's when Joe took office. You have China saying to your face, you ain't coming at us from a position of strength. So I get worried. Biden's going to try to determine where China's Xi stands on the Russian war. That gets us into today's daily D.C. rundown. Joe Biden's going to be speaking by phone with President of China, Xi Jinping, today. The White House is warning Beijing, that providing military or economic assistance for Russia's invasion of Ukraine will trigger severe consequences. Like, we might shut more McDonald's down. We might pull Netflix. Oh, actually, that's already been done. So now you have to find more tools in their back pocket. Psaki said Biden would question Xi about Beijing's rhetorical support of Russian President Vladimir Putin and an absence of denunciation of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Some other things happening this morning, Washington, D.C., and as everything is related to it, Ohio's crowded Republican Senate race. This has been all about one man, Donald Trump. But with less than 2 months until the state's May 3rd primary to succeed retiring Senator Rob Portman, some of the leading candidates have accepted that despite their best efforts, the former president's coveted endorsement might never come. And you look at this race here in Ohio, it's kind of interesting. Here's why. It kind of details the transformation, if you will, of the Republican Party over the last 6 years. The state that voted twice for former President Obama and elected a long succession of Republicans from former Governor John Kasich to the establishment-minded Portman, the state of Ohio has swung decisively right, and the leading candidates in the race have been working to out-Trump one another as whether they try to both woo him and his voters. And here's something, people get mad at me when I mention this, but I just don't think in all cases the Trump endorsement is what it's cracked up to be more. And this from a guy, I took it on the chin starting in June of 2015 here on the show when I said, yep, Trump should be president. People criticized me because they wanted Cruz or Rubio. I said, no, it's Trump. So I want you to understand that before I say this, because oftentimes this statement, people get mad at me. But it's true. I don't think the Trump endorsement is as valuable as people think it is. And there are several races, too, that come to mind. Nancy May, South Carolina. She is beating the Trump-endorsed candidate in that race. In the Senate race in Georgia, the guy that Trump is backing, he's losing. And those are just two top-of-mind examples. I just really don't think it's as valuable as a lot of people are thinking that it's going to be. And I wish it were different. But that's just where we are today. Welcome into the show. That's your daily DC rundown here on 93.9 The Eagle and 93.9theeagle.com, where you can listen live. You can also watch live. Go to the YouTube channel. Put it up on your smart TV in the house. You go to YouTube, search 93.9 The Eagle, and that way you put it up on your TV. And we're also getting folks that have a lounge, like businesses that are doing this. They're sending us pictures like, hey, listen, we got it up in our lounge. We got it up in our waiting room so people can get the local news.
We're kind of a big deal.
Yeah, I guess. I'm too good to be humble, I'm kidding. What do you feel good about today? Let us know, 874-9390. Big stunner yesterday in NCAA college basketball. This is why, on occasion, I do like to watch basketball. I have your ABC 17 Storm Track forecast. Showers today. We could even see a thunderstorm or two. High 59. Showers overnight. Then tomorrow, Como Man Show. Holiday Inn Executive Center, 10 to 3. Little cooler. Good day to come inside and join us at the Como Man Show. Tomorrow's high maybe 55. Wrapping up the weekend with sunny skies. High of 72 degrees. All right, now for your Feel Good Friday. It's 53.
I'm Roger Stern. Today, Russia fired more missiles and artillery shells on the outskirts of Ukraine's capital, Kyiv, and the western city of Lviv. Yesterday, President Biden announced an additional $800 million in military aid to Ukraine, and he followed up on his accusation that Russia is committing war crimes.
Putin's brutality and what he's doing and his troops are doing in Ukraine is just inhumane.
President Biden speaks to President Xi Jinping of China this morning following reports that Russia asked China for military aid, something Russia and China deny. Florida Republican Congressman Greg Steube says the president has to take a tough stand with China.
If they're going to give weapons to the Russians, there's going to be real sanctions. There's going to be real repercussions for those actions.
The congressman on Fox and Friends First. America is listening to Fox News.
And now award-winning local news coverage with Brian Hauswirth on 93.9 The Eagle.
93.9 The Eagle News Time with Robinson's Cleaners. Robinson saves you time. We are going to have a lot of rain today throughout the listening area. Showers, possibly thunderstorms happening today. A high of 59. In fact, there is a thunderstorm right now going on in the Springfield area and coming down very hard there, to say the least. Showers likely tonight. Low near 38, clearing tomorrow, but colder, high of 56. Good morning, everyone. Here are some of the stories we are working on for you at this hour. A Columbia man charged with a 2017 drug-related killing in Old Hawthorne has filed a speedy trial request. 29-year-old Jeffrey McWilliams charged with second-degree murder for the death of Augustus Roberts. He has pleaded not guilty. He'll be in court today at 1, a motion hearing. McWilliams' attorney has filed a motion to try to stop a warrant for his client's DNA. McWilliams is a well-known Columbia chef. He's been featured on the Food Network's Restaurant Impossible show when he worked at a restaurant called McLank's. He also ran a popular ice cream store near the Lake of the Woods at one time here in town as well. A large wildfire finally out this morning near Holt Summit.
A major wildfire in Callaway County now fully contained, but not before it burned 500 acres. Fire spokesman said it started as a controlled burn, but strong winds caused the person who lit the fire to lose control. Holt Summit Fire Department and 7 other fire agencies responded to the fire in the 8700 block of County Road 44 in Callaway County. John Marsh, 93.9 The Eagle.
A restaurant closing at South Columbia location. A few weeks, staffing issues. Just Jeff's making the announcement on Facebook. Much more on this, 93.9theeagle.com. And Governor Parson about ready to wrap up his trade mission to the United Kingdom and to Ireland. News brought to you this hour, MidAmericaMortgage.us. It's 6:33. Turning our attention now to sports here on 93.9 The Eagle, 93.9theeagle.com. 6:33 is our time. Let's start with Cardinals baseball. It's been a while since I've mentioned, every time I say this, I think of Bucket Bat. Bucket Bat. Coverage on KMOX tonight begins at 7 o'clock with Bucket Bat. I miss those days. Jim Holder doing the morning sports. Yeah. The Cardinals and the Astros today. 12:05 in Florida. Should be a good game. Just great to have baseball back, and eventually right here on 93.9theeagle.com. Of course, today's game is exhibition. Regular season, though, just around the corner. The Mizzou women's basketball team, 18-13. They finished their year. They fall to Drake in overtime last night, 83-78. Their season over for the year. 93.9 The Eagle News Time, 6:34. Traffic check with MidmoHires.com. Local companies are looking for local people. MidmoHires.com. Find a job. Post your job opening today. Roads are pretty quiet here in mid-Missouri. If you do want to report something that we're missing, let us know and be prepared. Definitely you want to keep that umbrella handy. I'm telling you, folks, this storm going through Springfield right now, nothing tornadic, but they are definitely getting some heavy rain and thunderstorms. Some of those will be in our area later today. More team coverage in less than 30 minutes. Breaking news immediately. I'm Brian Hauswirth, 93.9 The Eagle.
I was talking to my neighbor. He's a big conspiracy theorist. A lot of conspiracies being tossed around right now. You guys into that? How do we feel? Yeah? All right? In person? All right? We didn't land on the moon! I was talking to him. He's a flat earther. Is anybody a flat earther here? All right, I don't know why you would identify yourselves, but... Right here, let's talk. I want to have a dialogue with you. I was talking to him, and he was like, Luke, I think the earth is flat. Sorry if that's not politically correct. I was like, no, that's just regular incorrect, right? You can't just say a crazy conspiracy theory. Like, I don't think Ohio is real. Sorry if that offends you.
That's not politically incorrect. It's just plain old regular incorrect. Welcome into a Feel Good Friday. One of the things I always feel good about. And please let us know what it is you're grateful for today. I feel good whenever I see our news director of the entire Zimmer Radio Network giggling. Because we've differentiated this morning the difference between being politically incorrect and just being incorrect. And the other thing that and I didn't realize this morning. It's been going. How long have you been a part of the Wake Up Columbia family, Hannah?
A little over 2.5 years.
And you were here before that. Been knowing you for a lot of years now. And it just occurred to me this morning, and I've never thought about this before.
Oh, no.
One of the things that I feel good about, and it happens every day, 5 days a week, when Hannah comes in, it makes me smile. Because when I get here, and Hauswirth gets here, and then when Hannah gets here, she comes in, good morning, Hannah. And I say, Hannah, how you doing today? And you say...
Well, I recently learned you don't like when I say, I'm here. So I've started to say, I'm good.
But there's a reason I say I don't like when you say I'm here. And I'm teasing when I say I don't like it because it's not positive.
Right.
You know? Hannah is sticking her finger down her throat right now, which you would be able to see if you were watching on our YouTube channel. And you can also watch the show. You get an interesting perspective on what happens behind the scenes whenever you watch the show on YouTube. Just go to YouTube, search 93.9 The Eagle.
And when I ask how you are, you say...
Fine.
Fine, just fine.
Fine, just fine. And I say it every morning, say it the same way. Fine, just fine. But it occurs to me every morning when Hannah comes in, I smile.
And she very, very dependable and does a great job. And it's not easy to do what she does either, believe me.
So last night we're having dinner, me and Hauswirth and my complicated friendship with this woman of almost 3 years now.
Oh. She really is a saint.
She is one of the greatest human beings I have ever known in my entire life.
I agree. I agree.
But I love this. I love this about you, Brian. This is how you make me smile too. And this is maybe something here.
Yeah.
We're listening this morning. Like Brian. So we're having dinner, and everybody that Brian sees, whether it's when we're out to eat or it's whatever, Brian will have like a 30-second interaction with somebody that he doesn't even know, and he'll always say, yeah, and you're doing a good job. You're doing And I don't know why, but it makes me smile because
awesome.
Who doesn't like to hear, right, positive things about themselves? You can make somebody's day, I believe, with a compliment. Hey,
absolutely.
Man, good job.
I learned that from... serious note, I learned that from watching Mr. Rogers. Mr. Rogers, when he, and I loved his show when I was growing up. I really did. One of these days, we'll have to talk about the time he testified before Congress, and they were going to cut a show off, and there was a senator that said to him, "You have the floor, Mr. Rogers," and he said, "Are you going to listen to me?" And he said, "Yes, I am." And he was talking about children's program, but he talked about kindness. That's yeah. It's awesome.
Am I usually smiling in the morning?
Branden, Rathert, if there was something that we can do for you this morning, 874-9390. Coming up 8:35, we do it every Feel Good Friday. We nominate winners of the week, and you'll also notice that we are wearing red today, and there's a reason we do this.
And I remembered this week, so gold star for me.
Yay.
We're wearing red to remember everyone deployed.
And this is something, and Hannah had mentioned this for a long time, and then last year at the Boone County Lincoln Days, which, by the way, is coming up in April.
April.
It's a Friday in April.
8th.
April the 8th, Friday, April the 8th, just days after our municipal election, in which we are expecting a 15% turnout, according to Brianna Lennon, Boone County Clerk. it was last year, the Boone County Lincoln Days. To get ready for this one, you search Boone County Lincoln Days. You should find info. Get your tickets now. This was a huge event last year in which a year ago, some of the politicians, especially State Senator Caleb Rowden, he was on. Listen, it's going to be education, education, education. He hammered the point home. He said these are going to be the big issues. These are what we are going to win on. That happened at last year's Boone County Lincoln Days dinner. Caleb Rowden, we know now, was right. Whether you're talking about governor races, we're talking about what's happened here with Columbia Public School District's parents have taken an interest and have been able to affect some changes. People are paying attention, but that all came from that Boone County Lincoln Days. What will come of this year's Boone County Lincoln Days? You should be there. Search Boone County. You can search the Boone County Lincoln Day event. Get your tickets. Hannah and I will be there. I think Hauswirth is not going to be there. We'll have some other folks there. So come join us for that. This is why I love. Do you watch any March Madness? I think because the TV was on here at the radio station. I see some basketball. I'm not a fan of basketball. I don't care about 64, 68 teams. I'm not into it. I get the excitement in the workplace. Everybody's, they're putting. Not at this workplace, though. You're doing the office pool, but not here. And everywhere else they're doing these things. But what I do enjoy about the NCAA tournament is when things like this happen. So you've got number 2 Kentucky taking on number 15 St. Peter's last night. The game is in overtime.
You can feel the madness. St. Peter's pulls off the upset. The Peacocks are giant killers. They defeat Kentucky 85-79. Cinderella lives in Indianapolis.
Yeah, I don't think that's quite true. I mean, if Cinderella really came to life, if Cinderella wasn't just the imagination of Disney and movies and books, if she came to life, would she really live in Indianapolis?
Oh, come on. Don't be a stick in the mud.
Listen, I enjoy the city of Indianapolis. My first experience in radio was in Indiana, small cornfield, northern Indiana. So I'd be in Indianapolis all the time. Lovely city. But I don't think, like, if Cinderella came to life, oh, Indianapolis it is. Let's bring the pumpkin carriage. We're good to go.
No, I mean, I don't really watch a ton of the tournament. I really enjoy sports, but I need to have a dog in the fight. So, like, unless one of my teams is playing, I'm not going to really go out of my way to watch a game.
Yeah, I was bummed to see the women take off. Mizzou women yesterday in the WNIT tournament take off. Man, fast start last night, and then they end up losing in overtime. What a tough loss, but the good news is Mizzou wrestling wraps up its first day at the NCAA championship. They're in 14th place. So that's something to kind of get excited about. And we have the Como Man. There's some really cool things happening this weekend. Como Man Show is tomorrow. This is going to be 10 to 3, $20 at the door. Doolittle Trailer Manufacturing, Side and Stricker Nobi, Shepherd's Distributing, I-70 Towing and Recovery, Sticky Pig Barbecue, Mobility Worldwide, Good Vibrations Ladies Riding Club. It's a Good Vibrations Ladies Riding Club. They're going to be at the Como Man Show, too. $20 tomorrow. Holiday Inn Executive Center at the door, 10 to 3. But Start Text is put out a group text right now. Hey, man, we're doing this Como Man Show at 93.9 The Eagle. I heard that Hannah, the producer, is going to be there. Because here's what's happening. It's just crazy. It's like a party environment. There's motorsport stuff. I mean, there's samples of food and booze. You can buy food and booze. There's all kinds of neat things to do. There's music and contests and a wing eating contest. All these kinds of things are happening tomorrow. What are we going to do?
We are going to have a little putting green set up. And us and our friend Andy Humphrey from our sister station KTGR.
Cousin Andy.
We're going to have opportunities to win station T-shirts, as well as you can get your name in the drawing for a pair of those Lincoln Days tickets that we were just discussing.
So you come join us. Hannah is going to be doing the putt-putt golf in the 93.9 The Eagle booth. I'll be out schmoozing.
Okay, listen. Not to call you out from last man's show, but we got there roughly around the same time, and you disappeared and did not come back for like an hour and a half.
Because I was doing other very important work at the Como Man Show.
You were talking.
schmoozing, customer relations, business development,
Right.
things like this. So we will be out there tomorrow. So you should come join us, man. You come do the putt-putt. You can win T-shirts. You can win a pair of tickets for the Boone County Lincoln Days coming up Friday, April the 8th in Columbia.
And you'll be able to sit with us at the banquet.
Oh, yeah. So
you'll be at our table.
Yeah, you'll be at our table. That's an added bonus. So make sure you get your tickets now. Get online. Get on our website, 939theeagle.com. Get the tickets for the Como Man Show. They're only $15 if you buy them today online. Otherwise, they're $20 tomorrow at the door. But you could win tickets to the Boone County Lincoln Days and be sitting at our table. 8:35 this morning, we're going to be nominating winners of the week. Winners and losers, maybe, depending on...
Are we bringing back the loser nominations?
People get so triggered.
When have we cared that we triggered people?
Oh, yeah, good point. We're not worried about being politically incorrect. We're worried about being regularly incorrect.
Right.
One of the folks I am definitely nominating this week, we'll do this at 8:35, and if you have some nominations, who should be considered a winner of the week locally, whether it's somebody that's a newsmaker or somebody you know, on a national level, statewide level, let us know. I am nominating Dolly Parton, and here's why. Number one, Hannah loves Dolly Parton. Number two, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. She was nominated to be an inductee, and Dolly Parton earlier this week, she backed out. She says, even though I am extremely flattered and grateful to be nominated for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, I don't feel that I have earned the right. I really do not want votes to be split because of me. Huh. Sounds like somebody from the Progressive Como Teachers Group sending out, hey, I don't want the... Even Dolly Parton saying, I don't want the votes split, just like these Progressive Como teachers and the power of their 329 Facebook friends sending letters to mayoral candidates in Columbia this week. We urge 3 of you candidates to get together. 2 of you should drop out. Otherwise, Randy Minshew is going to win. So Dolly Parton saying, I don't want to split the vote, but I appreciate what she is saying. She says, I do hope that the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame will understand and be willing to consider me again if I'm even worthy. And she says, I haven't really done any rock music. She says, but I would like to put out a great rock album in the future.
Can you imagine the mayor candidates that got the letter having to get together and go, okay, now which one of us is going to stay in the race?
Eeny, meeny.
Are we going to draw straws, or how's that going to work?
Miny, mo. Barbara, it's you. You got to get out of the race. Crazy. By the way, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, they have done like the mayoral candidates apparently have done, despite Dolly Parton saying, listen, I don't want to split the vote. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame says, well, you're going to be on the ballot anyway.
Oh, okay.
And that's, by the way, what the Columbia mayoral candidates have said, too, apparently. Said, no, we're going to be on the ballot because this is people get to go and vote. A very small group of progressives that are teachers in the Columbia Public School District. Those teachers, those progressive teachers, they do not decide the mayoral race. Residents of Columbia that are registered to vote, they are the ones that decide the mayoral race. Not you. So that's why I'm nominating Dolly Parton. We'll do that 8. Does it all. They're getting folks calling them, hey, I heard Branden on 93.9 The Eagle talking about you all, saying I should call you guys now. Let's say if I want to do summer service, if I want you guys to take care of my lawn maintenance this year. And so people are calling. Wanted to let you know the other thing, and you might be one of those that really enjoy doing your own lawn maintenance work. I used to love doing it, too, because I do my work. As a matter of fact, I worked my way through Southeast Missouri State University doing lawn maintenance for a company called Premier Lawn Maintenance. And I loved it, man. I loved doing it. Loved admiring my work and how nice I left other people's yards looking. And they hire those kind of people at Salter Lawn Service. If you like doing your own stuff, they do maintenance and small engine repair. They change blades, sharpen blades, oil changes, new spark plugs, and they work on anything actually with a small engine, including go-karts. And that's why one call does it all with Salter. Salter, one call does it all.
An eye on the nation, an eagle eye on mid-Missouri. Wake Up Columbia with Branden Rathert. 93.9 The Eagle.
As a member of the U.S. Sentencing Commission, she voted to get rid of the mandatory minimum sentences for child porn. So this is a long pattern. It stretches over many years, and we need to get answers on this.
Missouri Senator Josh Hawley raising concerns over Biden's SCOTUS nominee, Ketanji Brown Jackson. And apparently, she has a history of being very soft on child porn offenders, pedophiles. And apparently she's voted, as we heard there, some things that would make anybody, because it makes me rethink. Listen, I said it first when she was nominated, like, if she's going to go through it anyway, just approve her. So you say, hey, listen, we worked on this. What Josh Hawley is saying, these are some real issues. He says there's a basic question that we have to ask. So are we going to get a judge here who's going to protect children or is going to protect child predators? It's a real simple question. Welcome into the show. It's Wake Up Columbia. My name is Branden Rathert. Como Man Show tomorrow. Some of the other cool things that are going to be happening there. Mizzou Athletics will be there. Trigger Firearms. Creative Audio, man. They always have great displays. Robinson Heating and Air. Side and Stricker, Nobi, Shepherd's Distributing, Doolittle Trailer Manufacturing. Some of the folks are going to be helping us out tomorrow for that Como Man Show in the weather. Why not come inside and joining us? Going to be a little bit cooler than what we've experienced over the past several days. Come inside. Join us tomorrow. $20 at the door. But if you were to get on our website this morning, 939theeagle.com, you'll be able to get your tickets for only $15. Somebody's beat me to the punch because I'm nominating Marco Rubio 835 for winner of the week for the Sunshine Protection Act in Congress. Yeah, I'll be nominating them 8:35 this morning here on 93.9 The Eagle. And before we move forward, I hate that I have to, but always try to make sure that I do mention things like this when some of our frontline responders are injured in the line of duty. A couple of Cole County deputies assaulted on separate calls this week. Same day, separate calls. One, it's somebody trying to shoplift $800 worth of booze from a Hy-Vee store in Jefferson City. How do you shop? Are you trying to hide it? I don't know. Are you putting it in? $800 worth of booze. That's a heck of a haul of booze. So apparently, an off-duty sheriff's department detective was working at Hy-Vee. Some people tried to take out $800 of alcohol without paying for it. So the two agreed to come back into the store after talking to the detective. On the way in, the dude just starts wailing on this detective. Second incident, Wednesday night after 10 o'clock at night. Deputy tried to stop a vehicle that was driving erratically. So deputies arrested a woman with a blood alcohol level 3 times the legal limit after a chase, about 2 minutes. They get this woman into the jail, and she assaulted workers at the Cole County Jail. Also in Missouri, Bonne Terre, officer killed in the line of duty this week, being fired at. Suspect also died in that shootout. Coming up here on the show, 710, stunning story from the New York Times. And here's what's stunning about this story is it's going to make a lot of us smile. It's going to make a lot of us say, yeah, we have been telling you that. That's coming up at 710 here on 93.9 The Eagle and 93.9theeagle.com.
Not far from Poland. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. The Russian military is conducting strikes on airfields in western Ukraine now. Ukraine's Air Force reports shooting down 2 of 6 missiles fired from the Black Sea. President Biden speaks with China's president next hour.
President Biden may likely broach issues such as China's support of Russia's Ukraine invasion and recent Department of Justice harassment charges in New York when he speaks to Chinese leader Xi Jinping. At Thursday's Friends of Ireland lunch, the president said he will continue to try to change why President Xi feels autocracies supersede democracies.
Because things move so rapidly, technology's changing so much, democracies don't have time to arrive at consensus.
Russia, increasingly isolated from the world, has turned to China as it tries to sustain its Ukraine invasion. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
India's state-run oil company reports buying 3 million barrels of crude oil from Russia this week, defying requests from the U.S. and some other allies to ban those imports. Investigators in North Carolina are looking into the vote cast by former President Trump's chief of staff in the 2020 election. Fox's Jessica Rosenthal, more live.
Chris, North Carolina's State Bureau of Investigation says they were asked by the state attorney general to investigate Mark Meadows' voter registration. The district attorney in Macon County was first to be notified of a potential problem. The New Yorker reported that Meadows lives in Virginia outside D.C., but had cast a vote from a mobile home in the mountains of North Carolina. The current residents at that address told WRAL News that Meadows hadn't been at that location. Meadows and his wife are reported to have been sent absentee ballots to a home outside the D.C. area. Meadows has not commented on this matter yet, Chris.
Jessica, thanks. Volkswagen's recalling more than 246,000 Atlas SUVs in North America over faulty wiring that can cause sudden braking in traffic. 47 complaints are reported by federal regulators, with some drivers also reporting warning lights and alarms going off and windows rolling down. America's listening to Fox News.
I struggled with symptoms like frequent gas and stomach pain for years.
I was bloated all the time with daily diarrhea.
At first, I thought it was what I was eating.
I kept thinking it was stomach issues.
So I did my research and talked to my doctor, and we finally uncovered the truth.
It was actually EPI. Exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, is a condition where your pancreas is unable to help break down your food.
It can lead to symptoms like diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools.
And EPI symptoms can be confused with those of other common digestive conditions, like irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's, and celiac disease.
So getting to the right diagnosis meant being more open with my doctor about the severity of my symptoms and how often they were happening.
But there's good news. EPI is manageable, so don't wait any longer. Use the symptom checker at identifyepi.com and schedule a visit or call with your doctor to ask, could I have EPI?
Sponsored by AbbVie.
93.9 The Eagle News Time with Robinson's Cleaners. Robinson saves you time. It is 7:03. We're expecting the rain to continue throughout the day. It is raining in parts of the listening area right now. Some of you will get some heavier rain today. Not seeing anything tornadic in the forecast. There is a possibility of thunderstorms, though. Our high today, only 59. We're not going to get much warmer than we are right now. Showers tonight, low near 38. Tomorrow, sunny and a high of 56 degrees. Good morning, everyone. Here are some of the stories we are working on for you on this busy Friday morning. Boone County prosecutors here in a few hours at Boone County Court will ask a judge to delay a jury trial for a Columbia man charged in a high-profile 2017 drug-related murder in Old Hawthorne. 29-year-old Jeffrey McWilliams is charged with second-degree murder and robbery for the 2017 death of Augustus Roberts at a home in Old Hawthorne. The street is called Lasso Circle. McWilliams' trial is set to start April the 19th. Prosecutors have requested a continuance. They also today will ask Boone County Judge Joshua Calvin Devine to compel McWilliams to provide a DNA swab. That's the whole idea here of this hearing. The judge may not rule today. He could. We don't know. Hearing today at 1 o'clock. McWilliams was featured on the Food Network's Restaurant Impossible show in 2019. He worked at the now-closed McLanks in Columbia. He also ran an ice cream store in Columbia as well at one time. Boone County firefighters working a number of outdoor fires on Thursday. Strong winds played a role in those wildfires spreading. Also, there were wildfires in the Holt Summit area. ABC 17's Kennedy Miller with this report.
Fire officials say strong winds and people burning material caused 7 fires to erupt in Boone County today. Some of the fires happened on East Bowling Lane and State Farm Parkway. And in Callaway County, officials say 7 departments worked to put out a fire that burned over 500 acres of land for nearly 2 hours.
ABC 17's Kennedy Miller reporting from the Holt Summit area yesterday. Kennedy, thank you. The governor says his overseas trade mission to the United Kingdom and to Ireland highlight the importance of international trade to Missouri's economic success. Governor Mike Parson says Missouri exported a total of $484 million in goods to those two nations in 2021. That's a total combined. Chemicals were a top export. The nonprofit Hawthorne Foundation is funding the trade mission. The governor is joined by 2 Republicans and 2 Democrats, Senators Elaine Gannon, DeSoto, Greg Razor, Kansas City, and State Representatives Derek Grier of Chesterfield, Donna Behringer of St. Louis, Director of Agriculture Chris Chin, and the Director of Economic Development Maggie Coast, I should say, are also on this trip. Speaking of the governor, he says Columbia's growth and economic development continue to impressive. He says Columbia is on a fast track. The governor tells me he always sees new shopping centers, stores, and housing developments every time he comes to town.
But it goes back to 2 basic fundamentals. If you don't have the workforce to supply the demands, and if you don't have the infrastructure in place to make people want to come here, and Columbia's figured out those 2 things are key priorities.
The governor also praises Mizzou's $220 million next-gen health building, a primary goal of the facility, making health care more affordable. And you won't be able to eat at Just Jeff South Columbia location on Green Meadows for a few weeks. It is closed due to staffing issues. That's according to a Facebook post from ownership. One of their employees is having surgery, according to the post. Just Jeff's on the Business Loop location is still open. Owners say they appreciate the employees they have. They cannot overwork them by running each restaurant with a limited number of crew members. I stopped at the store yesterday. There's a sign on the front door. Picture of that, I've got it up on our website, 939theeagle.com. Our news brought to you this morning by The Candy Factory. Anniversary, birthday any day. You can find them online. TheCandyFactoryOnline.com. 93.9 The Eagle News Time, 7:07. In sports, Cardinal baseball today. The Cardinals and the Astros, 12:05 in spring training down in Florida. Great to have baseball back in Florida. And, of course, during the regular season, you'll hear all the games right here on 93.9 The Eagle, your home for the Cardinals here in Columbia. Mizzou women's basketball team finishing at season 18-13. They fell to Drake last night in overtime, 83-78 Mizzou Arena in Columbia. Sports is brought to you by Witt Print Shop. Your printed products are so much more than ink and paper. 93.9 The Eagle News Time, 7:08. And our weather, I should say, is brought to you this hour by Witt Print Shop as well. For today, we're expecting showers, possibly some thunderstorms today. Our high 59. Showers likely again tonight, low near 38. Tomorrow, it will be cooler, sunshine, and a high of 56 degrees. Here in Columbia right now at the airport, it is 52 degrees. 7:08, 93.9 The Eagle and 93.9theeagle.com presented the traffic check by MidmoHires.com. Local companies looking for local people. Roads right now pretty quiet here in mid-Missouri. If you do want to report a traffic issue, call or text us anytime. 573-874-9390. More team coverage in less than 30 minutes. We have breaking news immediately. I'm Brian Hauswirth, 93.9 The Eagle.
denying this story. Now that the New York Times says, yeah, it's legit. That's the stunning part. The stunning part is the timing of everything, and this has to do with Hunter Biden's laptop. But this is the appropriate response from the New York Post, who has been on this from the get-go. And a little bit of context here. New York Post is kind of considered, almost gossip kind of publication. Not gossipy, but you know what I mean, celebrity stuff. And the New York Times, a lot of people think this is the bastion of nationwide journalism. So the New York Post has been on this for a long time. The New York Post, after their guy, Joe, has safely been installed in office, now the New York Times is saying, oh, yeah, the thing with the Hunter Biden laptop potentially using his dad's political power to gain leverage in business dealings with Ukraine. Yeah. It's true now, saying the New York Times, which a lot of other news outlets have been saying this for a long time. So the Post response, forgive the profanity, you have got to beat us.
Whoa.
They put that in there.
That's pretty, yeah.
And I think that speaks to, yeah, no kidding. We have been trying to tell you this. It also speaks to our frustration. We know why you didn't pick up on this story, because you wanted Joe to be president, and this probably would have severely hampered his chances. We didn't want to go after our guy, but now that he's in office and will be there for a little bit, now the New York Times is saying, yes, this is true. So the New York Times report dives into Hunter Biden's taxes and his international business dealings. Some business associates appear to have come up in this laptop that was abandoned by Hunter at a Delaware repair shop. It has been authenticated by people familiar with him and with the investigation. Yes, they've already, all that stuff has already happened. But now that, the New York Times, I'm guessing their attitude is, well, now that the parents are in the room, now it's really true. Just as recently as this past September, the New York Times said that the Post reporting on the story was unsubstantiated, even though it was. And like, no, listen, we have all of these people. Other news organizations were doing the same thing. New York Times later scrubbed that word, unsubstantiated. They scrubbed that from the article because there were a lot of people saying the same thing that I'm saying at this very minute on a Feel Good Friday. No, it's not unsubstantiated. So you can see the crookedness of the New York Times. Now, according to the Post, Hunter Biden's laptop had emails, texts, photos, financial documents between him, his family, and business associates that showed how he used his political influence, that of his dad, in his foreign business dealing, specifically with his work as a board member of Burisma Holdings, an energy company based in Ukraine. And remember this, too. The Post had their account suspended from Twitter every time they did stories on this. Twitter said, oh, it's not true, or it might be true, but you know what? It doesn't fall in line with what we think. Twitter suspended the New York Post. I wonder if they'll suspend the New York Times today if they post this story. Is Twitter going to suspend the Times for reporting the same thing that for 18 months? And the timeline, I think, is key here, too. Because as recently as September and as far back as October of 2020, it was, oh, no, it's just Russian disinformation. Just a few months ago, Jen Psaki asked by Fox's, by the way, this is a great exchange. Besides the content, this exchange and this love-hate relationship between Jen Psaki and Peter Doocy, because they have this antagonistic kind of relationship that we love to watch. But in real life, they're really good friends. They have more than once have expressed fondness for each other.
Absolutely, they have, and there's no doubt about it. And it is, as a reporter watching those are actually pretty interesting exchanges, and they're sometimes very newsworthy.
But the other thing is. And as a journalist, over your years as a journalist, you have people that you like. But then when it comes to news, hey, I've got to ask you some tough questions here. I have to.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's what happens between the two. But I love this exchange. So just a few months ago,
the president has said, and you have tweeted, that allegations of wrongdoing based on files pulled from Hunter Biden's laptop are Russian disinformation. There is a new book by a Politico reporter that finds some of the files on there are genuine. Is the White House still going with Russian disinformation?
I think it's broadly known and widely known, Peter, that.
So that right there, Hannah, as a future mom, does that make your ears perk up? Well, it's been widely known, Peter.
Yeah, just the way that she says Peter. And every time you play a clip where she's addressing him, she says it like that.
And then he gives back. So her answer here is, well, there was. So she doesn't answer the question. He's saying, well, what about this Hunter thing? This is just 5 months ago, which incidentally, that matches up with the last time the New York Times said, oh, this is Russian disinformation. So the New York Times was taking their talking points from the White House and then just regurgitating that to their readers. That's all they're doing. They weren't doing their own research. And I bet I'll tell you why these journalists there probably weren't doing their job, because they were afraid of the answers that they were going to find. And I love the way Peter reacts to the non-answer that Jen Psaki gives here.
There was a broad range of Russian disinformation back in 2020.
Okay.
Okay.
That is the sound of a man choosing his battle.
Okay, whatever you say, dear. So she didn't even answer the question, and she gave this, well, there was a lot of Russian disinformation in 2022. So now let's go to yesterday. So reporters at the White House, they start getting wind of this stuff. And then, again, Jen Psaki is asked about this stuff with Hunter Biden.
And if I may, you're asked about Hunter Biden's laptop. You also, in October 2020, dismissed it as Russian disinformation. Do you stand by that assessment?
Again, I'd point you to the Department of Justice and Hunter Biden's representatives. I'm a spokesperson for the United States. He doesn't work for the United States.
Yeah, but this is kind of a big deal. And Hunter Biden's dad is the guy that you do, in effect, work for. Feel Good Friday edition of Wake Up Columbia. Politics closer to home. A lot of candidate forums, which I think is great. These candidate forums, whether it's for city council, whether it's for mayor. I know Jefferson City School Board, they had a forum this week. A lot of forums locally. These are great opportunities for you to go out and, to an extent, hear what the candidates are saying. I still say the best way, call these candidates, establish contact, see if they'll talk to you, because sometimes the forums aren't always the best way to really get, what is this? Where is this candidate at on this issue? I've always thoroughly enjoyed one-on-one conversations, and I would do this, by the way. Reach out to people like Mark McCloskey and Eric Schmidt running for Senate. Reach out to them. See if they'll talk to you. Hey, Eric, I'm thinking about voting for you, Mr. Schmidt. You want to talk? How would you earn my vote? So city, and I'm getting more and more of these because sample ballots have been mailed out. You should have had them by now in Boone County. 3rd Ward City Council, Roy Lovely. That's the guy I'm voting for. Why? Because he's a wild card. I love watching this guy in action. And Carl Scala needs to get the hell out of the Columbia City Council. He's been there too long, too established, too comfortable. Carl, do us all a favor. You should just drop out. I'm going to get the Columbia Progressive Teachers Group to write a letter for me and get the backing of their 329 followers. Hey, can you write a letter to Carl Scala? Just tell him to drop out.
But the pickleball courts.
I'm a big fan of pickleball. I get pickleball. So Roy Lovelady, if I lived in the 3rd Ward, that's who I'd vote for. If I lived in the 4th Ward, I would vote for Nick Foster. Just more of the ideas of all of us hanging out this morning, more in line with that. We don't need any more of this progressive stuff. And what about these people? We got to think about these. And we need safe spaces for this. No, we need Nick Foster. Mayor, it's Randy Minshew. School Board, Andrea Lisenby, Adam Burks. And by the way, no on the school bond issue. And I hate to do that because ultimately it would, to an extent, affect kids. But that is my communications with the Columbia Public School District and what they've done over the past 2 years. And it's not just with COVID, it's with the lies. We had the superintendent of schools, no, we're not going to teach CRT. It's happening now. There's no classroom called CRT. They are teaching. So you have that poor communication, whether it's with parents, whether it's with the administration. We're hearing from teachers now. Administration communicates poorly. Same thing on this end. So Adam Burks, Andrea Lisenby, and no on the school bond issue. Sorry. That's just the way it's got to be. By the way, Gary Nolan, he's big on this stuff. I love every year he does, whatever the pork barrel spending stuff comes out, all these odd projects and it happens. It's kind of, it's just the way it goes. But think about what's happening right now. We've got soaring inflation, people having a hard time paying for groceries and gasoline. So with all of this inflation and skyrocketing gas prices, Congress bringing back earmarks. Here's just a few examples before we move forward. And I hope Gary Nolan's going to be covering on this on his show today. Gary Nolan is here 9 to noon on 93.9 The Eagle. Frederico Wilson, Democrat, Florida, earmarked over $2 million to build a Bahamian Arts, History, and Cultural Center in Coconut Grove to honor, the arts of Bahama. $2 million. Ilhan Omar. She's on that grave train. She got $1 million in taxpayer funding for an Afro-Latinx immigrant COVID-19 workforce re-engagement. So it's money for workforce re-engagement. Workforce re-engagement, that's a fancy political way of telling people, why don't you get off your ass and go back to work? That's all that is. But it's not for people of different ethnicities. It's just for black people and Latinx immigrants. So it's nobody else, no white people, no people of other ethnicities, just those people. That's Ilhan Omar. And probably one of my favorites here, Michigan. Fred Upton, U.S. Representative, he got $50,000 for a program called ALICE, A-L-I-C-E, Asset Limited Income Constrained and Employed Friendly Workplace Project. And is what this does, I'm not kidding, man. The purpose of the ALICE Friendly Workplace Project is to create workplaces for the ALICE population. We want these workplaces to be empathetic, equitable, and ultimately provide safe spaces for people so they can step out of the office and go to their safe space. We want a bunch of money for this. Safe spaces outside. Take a walk around the building. Go hide out in the bathroom for a while. If you need a break, what do you do when you're hanging out, Hannah, and you're like, I need a break?
If I'm at work or sometimes I'll go sit in my car.
Yeah, go sit in the car, run to the gas station, get you a box of Marlboro Reds.
Well, I don't do that.
I can't tell you how many times I've walked outside and I see Hannah sitting out in her car smoking cigarettes.
I can count, and that's 0.
But they want $50,000 to create safe places at work. Coming up, what's hot with Hannah? What do you have for us?
So you know how every once in a while I ask just really weird questions that I don't have an answer for?
Yeah.
Today's one of those days.
Amen. I'm looking forward to hearing that coming up.
Everyone else takes it too seriously. Thank God you get it. This is Wake Up Columbia with Branden Rathert, 93.9 The Eagle.
Tonight, we'd like to salute Governor Kathy Hochul, the first female governor of New York State. Governor Hochul began her career in public service in the great...
Wow. How about that? You walk into a hockey game, new NHL hockey game. New York Rangers hosted a game there. They have Kathy Hochul to come out and drop the ceremonial puck. And in the liberal bastion of New York, 20,000 people booing their Democrat governor because they don't like the policies. They are fed up. I think another one of those things that says, hey, the 2022 midterms on a federal level, local levels, man, this should be huge for conservatives. Right now, it's 7:25-ish, which means it's 7:28. Getting into What's Hot with Hannah here on a Feel Good Friday. And I like this type of question.
The type of question that I don't have an answer for. So I wasn't going to ask this question to the Wake Up Columbia family because a lot of our coworkers asked it to their prospective audiences. And I sometimes get accused of stealing content when I, post something that someone else has. Looking at you, Shags. But I got a message yesterday from Burdette who was like, you need to ask this. And it's, do you think there are more doors or wheels in the world?
What kind of response are we getting?
It's split. There's arguments that can be made for both. Like, sure. I don't have a number for how many doors there are in the world. I definitely think that the answer is wheels because you have your cars, you have office chairs, bicycles. Most things that have a wheel have more than one wheel.
Okay.
Do you feel passionately one way or the other?
No.
Thanks.
I am passionate.
Thanks a lot.
No.
I even told you this question this morning so you could think about it.
No, here's what I'm thinking about. Let's say in Jefferson City. Are there more wheels or windows in Jefferson City? The math on that would be easier.
Wheels or doors?
Oh, wheels or doors. Wheels or doors. Are there more of those in Jefferson City? Would there be more wheels or doors in Jefferson City? Interesting question that we
don't have an answer for.
That you feel good Friday. Coming up, animals in the news. It's 7:35 on 93.9 The Eagle. I have your ABC 17 storm track forecast. Here's how we're getting into the weekend. Some showers today. Thunderstorms reported southern parts of Missouri. And we could get a thunderstorm or here today. Our high close to 60. Then tomorrow, more showers likely tonight. Tomorrow, highs like maybe in the mid-50s. Good day to come join us indoors. Como Man Show, Holiday Inn Executive Center, 10 to 3. Then Sunday, we wrap up your weekend with sunny skies. Sunday's high 72. Right now, it's 53.
Fox News, I'm Roger Stern. Russia this morning fired missiles ever closer to the Ukrainian capital of Kyiv, and they also struck the airport outside the western city of Lviv, hitting a military aircraft repair facility.
We understand that 6 cruise missiles were fired towards it from what we think were Russian bombers flying high above the Black Sea.
Fox's Jonathan Hunt. PayPal is helping the war's victims. Fox's Carmen Roberts says the service is now allowing folks to send money to Ukrainians in the country and to those who fled.
The change comes after a request from Ukrainian officials who are showing their gratitude. The country's Vice Prime Minister Mikhailo Fedorov tweeting, "Thank you for supporting Ukraine and peace."
PayPal is waiving its fees for these transfers. America is listening to Fox News.
And now award-winning local news coverage with Brian Hauswirth on 93.9 The Eagle.
93.9 The Eagle News Time with Robinson's Cleaners. Robinson saves you time. It is 7:31. We do have rain in the forecast for today. Right now, the National Weather Service in the Springfield area has a few severe thunderstorm warnings that have been in effect. Some of those will be moving towards our area. We're not seeing anything tornadic, but look for heavy rain throughout the day and temperatures staying cold. Today's high, only 59. Good morning, everyone. Here's some of the stories we are working on for you at this hour. A Columbia man could be heading to prison for the rest of his life. He's been convicted of second-degree murder for the 2020 death of his neighbor on Sycamore Hills. A Boone County jury also convicting David Myers of armed criminal action. The Boone County Medical Examiner's Office testifying Anthony Lockwood died from blood loss, deprivation of oxygen after being stabbed in his chest and 6 times in the back. Myers took the witness stand, telling jurors that he killed Lockwood in self-defense. I was in the courtroom when the Boone County Medical Examiner's Office testified. They said that the victim suffered 6 stab wounds to his back, that he may have also been dragged along a gravel road. A Columbia man charged with a 2017 drug-related killing in the Old Hawthorne subdivision has filed a speedy trial request. He is Jeffrey McWilliams, charged with second-degree murder, the death of Augustus Roberts. He's pleaded not guilty. McWilliams, he is set to appear today in court at 1 o'clock, a motion hearing before Judge Devine. And Missouri's governor says Columbia exemplifies workforce development. It's one of his top priorities.
Columbia's pretty well on a fast track. You're expanding your airport. You're bringing major companies in here. You got the university to build on, see shopping center, housing developments.
$23 million new terminal being built at COU is expected to open up this summer. Our news brought to you this hour by Dr. Kent Willett Dental Associates, WillettDentalAssociates.com. 93.9 The Eagle News Time, 7:33. In sports, Mizzou women's basketball team finishing its season 18-13. They fall to Drake in overtime. This is a really tough loss for Mizzou. They started this game with a 10-0 run and led at one point by 12. In the end, they fall in overtime to Drake, 83-78. That game last night at Mizzou Arena in Columbia. Mizzou women finishing the season with a record of 18-13. And Cardinal baseball back in action in Florida. They'll take on the Houston Astros today. 12:05 will be the first pitch today, our time, 1:05 in the state of Florida. The Cardinals playing their first spring training game today. And, of course, the Astros now, I still think of them in the National League West, but they're now in the American League. Sports brought to you by Atterbury Auction, Realty Company, Mid-Missouri's most trusted online and live auction company specializing in real estate, personal property auctions. Visit AtterburySells.com. Our news time, 7:34. And our traffic check with MidmoHires.com. Local companies are looking for local people. MidmoHires.com. Find a job, post your job opening today. It is 7:34. Roads have been pretty quiet in mid-Missouri. Be careful out there because there will be rain in the forecast. Our sunrise officially was at 7:16. Can't see anything right now. It's almost completely dark outside because it's so cloudy. Many of you seeing rain as well. I'm Brian Hauswirth, 93.9 The Eagle.
LA is changing. The demographics are changing. For 4th of July, my wife and I, we actually went to the store to get some apple pie and hot dogs, and it was in the ethnic food section.
That's the comedian of Bob Zaney. Welcome into a Feel Good Friday edition of Wake Up Columbia on 93.9 The Eagle. There's Mr. Brian Hauswirth. Cardinals spring training gets underway this weekend. Have we heard anything? Because we had to delay the start of the season. Are we thinking by sometime in the middle of April, maybe?
Yeah, I don't have the exact date right in front of me, but yes. And it took a while, it seemed like, to get the start time for this game. As of Tuesday, we didn't have it, but now it's 12:05. I've seen some, and I'll try to get that for you for our next report, but I don't have it right in front of me right now. I do know that Tom Ackerman and his crew at KMOX, of course, the flagship station for the Cardinals Baseball Network, have been building their coverage primarily around the Cardinals, and you certainly understand that for a variety of reasons. But I'm looking forward to the season, and we'll see. I mean, who knows what's going to happen today? Some of the players, it's hard to really know until you get into a game.
Damn it, Hannah. This is a text from a listener, by the way. That's not me. Benny says, dang it, Hannah.
What? What did I do?
This is off the text, 874-9390. She's got 3 of us all over the board with this question that we don't have an answer for this morning. Can we narrow it to here in town? Doesn't have to be in the world because percentage-wise it would be, it's the same thing. Is it local here in town in Jefferson City or Columbia, more doors or windows in town? Because it's the same whether you're talking worldwide or here. More windows or more doors?
Oh, boy, I don't know that I can.
You're the news director. You're supposed to know that, Brian.
I'd probably have to defer to the construction folks. I would guess windows, but I don't know.
It's not windows. It's doors.
Doors
okay. Or wheels.
Doors or wheels? AJ, he's put some thought into this. Number one, you know the largest wheel maker in the world, or the largest tire maker in the world? Who makes the most tires, more tires than anybody else? Lego.
Well, so here's my argument for wheels being the answer to the question. Most things that have a wheel have more than one wheel. And I'm also not just talking about wheels on cars. I mean, our desk chairs all have multiple wheels, right?
That's true.
Yeah. Toy cars have wheels. Bicycles have wheels. You got to expand your thinking here.
So what is there more to think about? Gosh, this will keep you going all day. You'll be at work. It'll be 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You'll be, hey, Joe, I heard Branden and Hannah and Brian Hauswirth on 93.9 The Eagle this morning talking. What do you think about this question? If we were to look here where we live, are there more...
Or in the world.
Are there more windows or are there more tires? Or doors?
Oh, Leonard on the Wake Up Columbia Facebook page makes a good point. He says that the answer is doors because anything that has wheels will have doors too.
874-9390. So where you live, are there more doors or more wheels? More doors or more wheels if you were to look outside. If you're thinking about town here. Because this way we could say the world, but let's keep it local because it doesn't matter whether it's here. It'd be the same thing. 874-9390. Tina, welcome into the show. How are you?
Morning. I'm good.
Good.
There's something I wanted to ask you, but I'll ask you tomorrow night.
Hold up. Tina, hold up. What do you mean you'll ask me tomorrow night? What are you talking about? Because and the only reason I asked, because a bunch of people right now are going, what? Who's this Tina saying she's hooking up with Branden tomorrow night? What?
Well, it'll be in public, of course.
Tina, what are you talking? Hold up. Are you you're going to be at the Como Man show? Is that what you're saying?
I didn't expect this.
Well,
conversation.
We're not hooking up tomorrow night. I don't know where you're getting.
Bad choice of words. Bad choice of words.
Okay.
Let's get back to the wheels.
Okay.
There's more wheels because there's a lot of tire shops. So there's a lot more wheels than there are doors.
I agree, Tina.
So I'm looking. Tina, thank you. What are you grateful for today? What do you feel good about on a Feel Good Friday?
She's feeling good about her date.
Yeah, we
tomorrow
got a date.
night.
Tina, love you. We'll see you apparently tomorrow night. You just let me know where. Jason, so he's looking at his house. My house has 49 doors, not included my toys.
Jason, did you just sit there and count all the doors in your house?
60 wheels that I can count. And the other thing, so I'm thinking, so if you have a car, you have 4 wheels, right? Most cars, a lot of cars, half the cars also have 4 doors.
Good point.
Yeah. Let us...
Oh, Thomas asks a good question. Does a revolving door count as one door? Or is that multiple doors?
I have a 4- and 2-year-old with 200 Matchbox cars, so I say wheels. All right. That's just one of those, like all day long. That's like when you're at the grocery store and they got the music running in the grocery store and it's some kind of song and you hear it on the music system and you're like, what the? And you can't get that song out of your head all day long. I fear, Hannah, and there's a lot of things to be fearing today, right? I fear that you've implanted like a bug into somebody's head. It'll be lunchtime today, and people will be at lunch, still celebrating St. Patrick's Day, and good on you, by the way. And they'll be going, I was listening to 93.9 The Eagle this morning. Interesting question. Are there more doors or more windows?
I don't know. I'm still passionately in the wheels camp.
You haven't given us the definition for wheels. Are we talking wheels and casters, Ferris wheels, cheese wheels? Okay, and that's why it's gone too far. But but it shows you the extent. This is the thought that people are putting into it. More doors or windows. My name is Branden Rathert. Something we can do for you. 874.
More doors or wheels?
More doors or wheels.
Jeez. You're killing me.
Sorry. By the way, we got folks wanting a copy of this Safe Space song. Pork barrel spending. Gary Nolan always does a great job of covering this. One of the pork barrel spending projects, $50,000 so people can have safe spaces at work in Michigan. but only certain people. It's only for certain people that can have safe space. And there was a song that actually, there was an episode on South Park 2015. It was a phenomenal episode, and it had to do with Mizzou. The whole Melissa, I can't even remember her last name now, but all that crap that was going on. Melissa Click. That was it. And because of what these kids did at Mizzou, South Park dedicated an entire episode just about to us right here in Columbia, Missouri. And they even came up with a song for us.
Everyone likes me.
Well, thank you for taking my call, but I think we need to clarify exactly what wheels are, because tires aren't technically wheels, right? And then what are doors? So if you look at a car, is a gas cap, is that considered a door? So I'm firmly in the camp that there are more wheels, but if you start taking into account all that, and then do the doors have to function? Because like your Hot Wheels, those doors don't, most of them don't function, right? I don't know. I'm overthinking it. I know that. Why, thank you.
Gross.
Well, I don't know, but Miss Hannah needs to watch, because if any smoke starts coming out, you've got a problem.
I've got the fire extinguisher ready.
Thank you. I am just feeling good that I'm here today. I made it through COVID. Some of my friends made it through, so I'm just happy to be here today.
Well, you confused me, and I actually said Windows when I called in. So thanks for that.
Yeah, he's kind of the worst.
I just want to play devil's advocate here a little bit, because I really don't have an opinion one way or another. But something that has not been brought up yet, hotels. That's a lot of doors.
That is a lot of doors. We're not talking about windows.
We're talking about doors. I think that would be a singular door. You and I are talking about windows. That is correct. I am more confused. What is a door at this point? I'm feeling good about college basketball.
St. Peter's pulls off the upset. The Peacocks are giant killers. They defeat Kentucky 85-79. Cinderella lives in Indianapolis.
Big upset, number 15, St. Peter's stuns number 2, Kentucky. By the way, I don't think if Cinderella were a real thing, I don't think she would choose to live in Indianapolis. Not that I'm knocking on the city of Indianapolis.
Hey.
Spent a lot of time there, but I don't think that that's where she would call home.
If the shoe fits.
Giddy up, cowgirl. Coming up here at 7:51, we'll continue to take more thoughts, more doors or more wheels.
The texter's exploding.
Yeah.
I love when I can start controversy over the silliest things.
Isn't it fun, especially here on a Feel Good Friday? Some fun at the White House yesterday. You know, we like to feature once in a while Psaki v. Ducey. Psaki and Fox's Pete Ducey always have some epic exchanges in the White House. And they're really good. I wouldn't say they're really good friends, but they have a lot of admiration for each other. So I was going to do another one of those, but I've got plenty. Psaki duking it out with several folks yesterday at the White House. Wow, it's really cool. And that's why I'm encouraging you to check it out. But right now, if you were to get on to AtterburySells.com, you would find in South Columbia a beautiful log home on 60 acres offered in tracts or in its entirety. And it's got a stunning 4 or 5 bedroom house. You've got a cozy sunroom, picturesque views, finished walkout basement, an older farmhouse and a pond. It's like one of those things, and you go to the website and see the pictures, by the way, at Atterbury Sells, but you would look at it and you'd go, yes, that's where I want to live, or that's where I want to have my weekend getaway. That's where I want to put my hunting cabin. This is the place. But then here's the other really cool thing. Couple of open house dates coming up in April, but the online bidding ends in April. It's online bidding. But you'll be able to go and see this stuff, learn more. Please check this out. At the very least, check out what they're doing at Atterbury Auction and Realty Company by checking out their website, AtterburySells.com.
Download the 93.9 The Eagle app and listen to Wake Up Columbia everywhere. It's easy to do. Geez, even Branden figured it out. 93.9 The Eagle.
States does not have the qualification to say that it wants to speak to China from a position of strength.
So that was China. Just days after Joe took over in office, China directly across from the United States at the table, probably with a smirk on their face going, you ain't coming at us from a position of strength anymore. Guess who Joe's talking to today? China, regarding Ukraine. Welcome into a feel-good Friday edition of Wake Up Columbia on 93.9 The Eagle. We are getting ready for the Como Man Show. Side and Stricker, Nobi, Shepherd's Distributing, Doolittle Trailer Manufacturing, also Boone County Sheriff's Department, and the Missouri Department of Conservation, along with Central Missouri Delta Waterfowl, PCA Guns, and Wood Hat Spirits. Joining us for a big old party tomorrow, 10 to 3, Holiday Inn Executive Center. $20 at the door to get in. But if you were right now to go to our website, 939theeagle.com, $15 will get you in the door. All right. And we're going to be doing something really cool there. Hannah and I are going to be there.
We are. We're going to be doing putt-putt golf for your chance to win a T-shirt. We're doing that with our friend Andy Humphrey from our sister station, KTGR. And we're going to have a chance for you to enter to win 2 tickets to the Boone County Lincoln Days banquet. And you'll actually be able to sit at our table with us and hang out with us for the night.
So join us tomorrow. There's food, live music, all kinds of cool things happening. So join us tomorrow. Get onto our website, 939theeagle.com. Get your tickets for only $15. Or if you and some of your friends get together. And by the way, just so you know, it's called the Como Man Show, but it's not all guys. I mean, there's families, there's women. It's just stuff that men are typically more interested in than the chicks are. But there's typically a lot of chicks there. I'd say if you're a single dude and you're looking, it's a good hookup spot, maybe.
No.
It's a good place to meet people. Wouldn't you say the Como Man Show is a good place to meet people?
Yeah, but I don't know if I would go in with the intent.
Yeah, not a hook. I should refrain from because I don't mean hookup the way the kids, I think, mean hookup. When I say hookup, we'll meet up. We'll, you hook up. But kids nowadays, they've changed those words, and now hookup means something.
Not even kids these days. That's been a thing for a very long time.
Really? And how long?
Well, as long as I've been alive.
I was going to say, you're only 21, Hannah. You are not coming at me from a position of you know what you're talking about on this.
I am a kids these days.
You are a kids these days. From time to time here on 93.9 The Eagle, we like, by the way, Ricky already says, good, I'm better at golf than I am at cornhole, which is what we did last year at the Como Man Show.
I'm still so mad at Stephanie Bell because we went live on Facebook at the Man Show last year, and we were demonstrating what we were doing at our booth, and I sunk all 3 of my bags on the cornhole board, and it was just out of frame. And I didn't do it again the rest of the day. I was so mad. It was like, it was almost on film for the world to see how cool I was, and she missed it by a couple inches.
Isn't that weird? Whenever something really cool happens, whether it's funny or really cool, what's the first thing a lot of people say now? Because it used to be, oh, my God, how cool was that? That was awesome, or that was funny. Now the first thing people say, did you get that on video?
Yeah, video where it didn't happen.
Yeah. Did you get that on video? We like to do from time to time Psaki v. Ducey in the White House. But now, I mean, and this is telling. So it's not just about fun here, but it's telling. Because now it used to be it was just, Psaki and Fox's Pete Ducey, because he was really the only one that would challenge and ask real politely, and ask real questions. Nobody else in the White House press corps was doing that. So it was always Psaki v. Ducey. But here's another indication of why I think things are really, people are starting to figure out, oh, yeah, this whole thing with electing Joe as president, this was not a good thing. Because even a lot of these progressive news outlets are starting to challenge Psaki, and they're asking for answers. They're like, hey, we just want some simple answers. So today we can do Psaki v. Kristen Welker from NBC, who's trying to ask her for clarification on a question.
He said he's not going to comment. He didn't say that it's not an option. So,
well, we've spoken to it approximately 167 times. So maybe
Well, here's 168.
Go ahead. that are not being Kristen that are not being utilized.
So they're stepping on each other, not letting the other one speak, and Psaki trying to be dismissive and facetious. Two of my favorite qualities, by the way. Not in other people, but in me. I like.
Right.
She said, well, we've already covered this 157 times. And the reporter says, well, get ready for the 158. I love that. Welcome into a Feel Good Friday on 93.9 The Eagle.
A long-distance request. I'm Chris Foster. Fox News. President Biden speaking with China's president this morning about the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Live at the White House, Fox's Jared Halpern.
President Biden's call with Chinese President Xi Jinping comes as U.S. officials are increasingly concerned China could provide direct assistance to Russia and its war in Ukraine.
It appears that China is moving in the opposite direction by refusing to condemn this aggression while seeking to portray itself as a neutral arbiter.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken says the president will make clear to China's leader any aid to Russia will be met with cost and severe consequences. Presidents Biden and Xi held a virtual summit last November. Chris.
Jared, thanks. More civilians are reported killed in Russian strikes around Ukraine. Missiles have hit airplane and bus repair facilities near an airport in Lviv. That's in the west, about 40 miles from Poland. There are reports of injuries, but no deaths from the bombardment of a theater being used as a shelter in Mariupol this week. And the World Health Organization reports 43 attacks on hospitals and health facilities, killing 12 people in them since the invasion started. No end in sight to a drought in the West.
Tens of millions of Americans in the West will see no relief from the record-shattering megadrought. It may even be worse than it's been. While spring is forecast to be warmer than normal in most of the lower 48, it will be a dry one for much of the West. Deke Arndt of NOAA says the reason the West is warming is climate change. La Niña, the periodic cooling of the Central Pacific, is partially to blame as well. Experts say this 20-year-long megadrought, the worst in 1,200 years, will also set the stage for more record-setting wildfires this summer. Karen McHugh, Fox News.
And in dry, windy weather in West Texas, there are several wildfires burning, some merging to create a more than 60-square-mile fire near Eastland. There are reports of homes being burned. A church and downtown buildings in Ranger, Texas have burned. A nursing home in Rising Stars evacuated. America's listening to Fox News.
I struggled with symptoms like frequent gas and stomach pain for years.
I was bloated all the time with daily diarrhea.
At first, I thought it was what I was eating.
I kept thinking it was stomach issues.
So I did my research and talked to my doctor, and we finally uncovered the truth.
It was actually EPI. Exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, is a condition where your pancreas is unable to help break down your food.
It can lead to symptoms like diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools.
And EPI symptoms can be confused with those of other common digestive conditions, like irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's, and celiac disease.
So getting to the right diagnosis meant being more open with my doctor about the severity of my symptoms and how often they were happening.
But there's good news. EPI is manageable, so don't wait any longer. Use the symptom checker at identifyepi.com and schedule a visit or call with your doctor to ask, could I have EPI?
Sponsored by AbbVie.
93.9 The Eagle News Time with Robinson's Cleaners. Robinson saves you time. It is 53 degrees. We have rain falling right now in Columbia, 51 in Jefferson City. There's a chance of thunderstorms today, not expecting anything severe. Today's high about 59. Showers tonight, low near 38 degrees. Good morning, everyone. Here's some of the stories we are working on for you in this 8 o'clock hour. Columbia's outgoing mayor is joining fast-growing Equipment Share as its vice president of strategy and development. That's according to Como Buzz, which quotes Mayor Brian Treese as saying that after more than 30 years of working at the state and federal level on economic development, transportation, and infrastructure issues, he looks forward to continuing his work with a great local company like Equipment Share. Equipment Share continues to grow. They're not just here in Columbia. They are nationwide right now. Their main facility is just to the east of the Lake of the Woods area, just outside of Columbia. Boone County prosecutors will be asking a judge today to delay a jury trial for a Columbia man charged in a high-profile drug-related murder in Old Hawthorne. The murder happened back in 2017. The suspect is a prominent chef here in Columbia, Jeffrey McWilliams. He's charged with second-degree murder and robbery for the death of Augustus Roberts at a home on Lasso Circle. McWilliams' trial set to start in April the 19th. Prosecutors, though, requesting a continuance. That'll be discussed today in court. The prosecution also wants the judge in this case, Joshua Calvin Devine, to compel Mr. McWilliams to provide a DNA swab. That'll be a key part of today's hearing. You'll recall McWilliams, the chef, was featured on the Food Network's Restaurant Impossible show in 2019 while he worked at a now-closed McLanks in Columbia. He also worked at an ice cream store in East Columbia. That one is also since closed. Callaway County authorities say Thursday's wildfire burned more than 500 acres. ABC 17's Kennedy Miller reports there were also wildfires here in Boone County.
Fire officials say strong winds and people burning material caused 7 fires to erupt in Boone County today. Some of the fires happened on East Bowling Lane and State Farm Parkway. And in Callaway County, officials say 7 departments worked to put out a fire that burned over 500 acres of land for nearly 2 hours.
That is ABC 17's Kennedy Miller reporting from the scene in the Holt Summit area, and she reports there are no injuries in that area. And Columbia's growth and economic development continue to impress Missouri's Governor Mike Parson. The governor tells 93.9 The Eagle that he sees new shopping centers, stores, and housing developments every time he visits. And he tells me he gives a lot of credit to economic development and also to the mayor, Brian Treese.
But it goes back to 2 basic fundamentals. If you don't have the workforce to supply the demands, and if you don't have the infrastructure in place to make people want to come here, and Columbia's figured out those 2 things are key priorities.
The governor also praises Mizzou's $220 million next-gen building, a primary goal of that facility, making health care more affordable. And you won't be able to eat at Just Jeff's, the South location on Green Meadows, for at least a few weeks. It's closed due to staffing issues. They don't have enough workers. That is according to a Facebook post from their ownership. One of the employees is having surgery. They're asking for prayers for her. The Just Jeff's Business Loop location is still open. Owners say they appreciate their employees that they have, and they cannot overwork them by running each restaurant with a limited number of crew members. I took a picture of the sign on our website. It's up there, 939theeagle.com. I also link to their Facebook post so you can see what the Facebook post says, and more importantly, what people are saying in response. They're getting a lot of prayers from the community for what has happened there. Our news is brought to you this morning by the Callaway Bank. The Callaway Bank is with you for the moments that matter 7 days a week. Our news time, 8:07. Turning our attention now to sports. Mizzou women's basketball team finishing its season 18-13. They fall to Drake in overtime last night at Mizzou Arena in Columbia, 83-78. NCAA men's tournament, big upset last night. St. Peter's taking down Kentucky. That is as big as it gets. A number 15 seed taking the top, one of the top teams in the nation down. A lot of people thought Kentucky would go to the Final Four. They are done. St. Peter's with the win. And sports is brought to you this morning by Betts Jewelers. For gifts that last a lifetime, visit Betts in downtown Columbia. 93.9 The Eagle News Time, 8:07. And our weather this morning is brought to you by the great folks at Betts Jewelers. Again, they're in downtown Columbia for gifts that last a lifetime. Forecast for today, thunderstorms are high today around 59 degrees. Showers are likely tonight, low near 38. It's definitely cold right now. Feels colder than it actually is. Partly sunny tomorrow. It's going to be chilly in a high of 56. And then Sunday, warmer in a high of 72 degrees. So our temperatures continue to fluctuate. Drought conditions virtually yesterday. Wildfires today. We're looking at potential thunderstorms. If you want to report a traffic issue, call or text us 573-874-9390. I'm Brian Hauswirth, 93.9 The Eagle.
Conflict, and she explained it as thus. See, there's this little country, Ukraine, and then there's this bigger country, Russia, and Russia invaded Ukraine, and that's wrong. She should do a TED Talk on that. This week, the lesson was she was selling the benefits of electric vehicles because the federal government, they want you in an electric vehicle. That's why there's all these incentives. They want you in an electric vehicle. So Kamala this week selling the benefits in her mind of what are the benefits of an electric vehicle. And you could hear, like, she said, you can't hear the guzzling when you're charging your car as opposed to gasoline, and you don't smell anything. Those are the big benefits. By the way, New York, the car show, and this used to come through St. Louis every year. I don't know what it's done over the past 2 years. One of my fondest memories that I have with my father, who's, by the way, he's still alive, making it sound like he's dead.
Yikes.
God. One of my fondest memories of my father. But in like when I was in my late teens, early 20s, every year we'd go to the big car show, Cervantes Convention Center.
Absolutely.
In St. Louis. Just incredible. So the World Car of the Year. Now, this is going to be at the New York International Auto Show. It's going to be coming up next month. First time they've done it in several years now. But the finalist for Car of the Year, they know this already. It's going to be an electric car. They just don't know if it's going to be, I think, the Ford F-150, the Ford F-150 Lightning, all electric. Kia and Hyundai. Hyundai has a new car that's coming out. The Hyundai Ioniq 5. It might already be out. The Ford Mustang Mach-E, North American Utility of the Year. And so it seems like there's just this full court press. Electric. Feel Good Friday edition of Wake Up Columbia on 93.9 The Eagle. Brian, what are you grateful for today?
I've got three very quick things, but in order here. Number one, you and Marcy for the wonderful dinner last night.
You paid? What are you talking about? What are you thinking me?
I did, but I had it was wonderful. Yeah. It was a great experience. The food was outstanding. Goodness, the pork chops outstanding. Number two, Mizzou Urgent Care taking care of me. I fell in the ice on Saturday last week. Oh my God, that was brutal. Black ice.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Did anybody see you fall?
No, unfortunately, yeah, and I was kind of worried I hit my head. I thought I didn't though. So no, it was kind of near a stairwell, and it was black ice. They really took care of me.
Because like if you ever fall or accidentally hit yourself or whatever, what's the first thing you do? Crap! Did anybody see me?
Yeah, after ankle surgery one time, I was on one of those knee scooters, and it was one of my first days back at school, and I totally wiped out.
Oh.
And I had just gotten back on my scooter when somebody finally came around the corner. I was like, phew, that was a close one.
And actually, I was kind of hoping somebody had been there because I probably could have used some help getting up, but I was okay. But the urgent care took care of me. And Leadership Columbia and the folks at Columbia Chamber of Commerce had me on their invited me on their panel yesterday to talk about news and some other stuff. And thank them for the wonderful invite. Great event, and I enjoyed it.
It was neat seeing a lot of the folks from the chamber yesterday, giving a tour of the radio station, all the other stuff that was happening. It was those folks, they believe in small local businesses getting involved, be a good organization if you can ever get involved with the Columbia Chamber of Commerce. Hannah, the producer, what are you grateful for today?
I am grateful that we get to hang out with a bunch of members of the Wake Up Columbia family tomorrow at the Como Man Show.
Man.
I always look forward to this event just because it's nice to kind of get to meet some family members that we've never met before. Get to hang out with people.
And tickets are only, so if you go to the door tomorrow and you want to, it's 10 to 3, Holiday Inn Executive Center. It's Como Man Show. And it's only $20 to get in. But if you were to just go to our website, 939theeagle.com, it's only $15, all right? But don't tell anybody I told you that. But if you go to our website, $15. Booths, activities, a lot of stuff just for men. Prize drawings. Wing eating contest. Beard competition. Food, drinks from local Columbia folks. Plus, you can buy some stuff. There's motorcycles, tractors. It's amazing what these folks at Side and Stricker, Noby, and Shepherd's Distributing and Doolittle Trailer Manufacturing. It's amazing what they do. Mm-hmm. Folks like Head Motor Company going to be joining us, Graff and Sons. Also, Grandpa's Family Farms. The National Rifle Association, NRA, is going to be there in premier portable buildings tomorrow.
It's a great list there. Grandpa's. When you mentioned grandpas, I was thinking of grandpa pigeons and stuff. This is that's the first time I'd heard that. That's great.
And there's an option for VIP tickets.
Yeah, so on the website comomanshow.com or 939 The Eagle, when you purchase your ticket, it gives you the option to upgrade to a VIP ticket, and that gives you access to a top secret VIP lounge at the Como Man Show, as well as some other added bonus perks.
Wow.
So when you get on there, you can get a VIP. You can get into the VIP section. I'm grateful today for several things. And I didn't realize this until this morning, that like when Hannah comes in every morning, I smile. And I had never noticed that until today. I don't know why. I don't know why. And I feel kind of weird saying it out loud.
I feel kind of weird.
Yeah, do you? Well, it's just because, I smile when Brian comes in. When Stephanie who's going to be back Monday, I don't know. Sure. It just smiles to see my crew.
So I don't know if I've said this on air. A few weeks ago, you kind of started calling me like, my dear sweet Hannah.
My dear sweet Hannah. I've been doing it for months.
Yeah, to kind of like irritate me a little bit, I think.
No, but I mean that. And to irritate you.
Right. My boyfriend has since updated my name in his phone. So now if I call or text him, it says, my dear sweet Hannah.
Aww.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to do the same on mine right now.
No, okay. That's okay.
Also, I'm grateful today to be in a position to where I can help my mom. She had a very serious health issue last week. I'm grateful to Truman VA. I had heard they had a stellar reputation coming in. My mom's been, as a matter of fact, she left the VA in St. Louis to utilize this one. And any dealings I've had in the years of dealing with Truman VA, the people to a T. I'm not just talking high up administration. Nurses, staff, people working the information desk. everybody there is so incredibly helpful, and they love their veterans. So I'm grateful to Truman VA what they did. My mom was there for 4 nights, and I'm grateful that I'm in a position today where I can help my mom with these things because she doesn't live here in Columbia. Right. She lives out in the middle of nowhere off of Mark Twain Lake. So to get her from there to here and all this stuff, it's, yeah.
How has it been going getting to spend all that extra time with your mom?
Coming up Monday on the show.
Come on.
Man, my mom has a wicked sense of humor. I am eternally grateful for this sense of humor that she has. I mean, she's phenomenal. But she's 71. She's at that, so she's got a great sense of humor. And she's at that age. I can't wait till I get old and completely don't care about anything what people So being with my mom, it's great, for short periods of time. And it's my mom. And I love her. But, man, so not only was I seeing her every day in the hospital, I had to bring her to my house. She was there for spent the night and everything. And we spent 2 hours in the car driving her back to where she lives. But she likes to embarrass people out in public.
Boy.
Yeah. And, yeah. So
like what? Like, what's an example?
Okay, so when I was younger, she would do things like there would be commercials like Hair Club for Men on TV. And is what she would do. She would write down the address, send them info, and have it sent to my house in Idaho.
That is beautiful.
Right? I mean, she was kind of like a next-level prankster to an extent where you never found out the prank. You never knew it was, but she would get like this mischievous, greedy grin when she would do stuff like this. So I'm grateful for that and grateful that you could be here today. 874-9390 if there's something we could do for. I'm going to nominate, yesterday we had Congresswoman Vicky Hartzler on, and she said, I thought this was actually kind of funny. It showed a sense of humor. So a lot of times, and I'm not singling out Congresswoman Hartzler, but a lot of these politicians, they, it's they're veneer or they're on the point. They lack personality sometimes. Congresswoman Hartzler, showing, I thought, some personality. Yesterday, we were talking about weapons. What more could Joe Biden be doing? Because Congresswoman Hartzler, obviously in D.C., the other day saw the speech by Zelensky.
1 million people hunkered down there in that country, and we're giving them 200 shotguns. I mean, that could arm one ladies' coffee group. I mean, we need... I'm not proud of all those grandmas and women and everybody else that's stepping up and help. But good grief.
I thought that was great. But then the other thing, because I have some interesting poll numbers. I think we'll do this Monday. There are now substantial poll numbers. There's been some minor polls here and there, and most of the polls we've seen have been done by people running for Senate, people like Eric Greitens. There are several new polls relating to the Missouri Senate race. And it's very telling of what a lot of people are saying. That if this individual goes to the general, it will spell disaster for conservatives. It will spell disaster for the Republican Party. And now we have some poll numbers for what polls are worth that are echoing that same sentiment. We're going to do that Monday. And what this does is it takes, Congresswoman Hartzler versus this Democrat, or how about Eric Schmidt versus this Democrat, and how about Eric Greitens versus this Democrat. We're going to have those coming up for you Monday here on 93.9 The Eagle. But as I'm looking at some of this polling info, Joe Biden's approval ratings just as bad as the country would expect them to be right now. It's almost universal in the country's distaste for the guy that is president right now. Congress always has a very poor approval rating, worse than the president's, as a matter of fact. So it occurred to me yesterday as I'm talking to Congresswoman Hartzler that, in effect, if I'm distilling this down, I'm bringing on somebody with a lower approval rating to criticize somebody who has a higher approval rating. Now, the approval rating isn't on Congresswoman Hartzler specifically, but Congress as a whole has a lower approval rating than the president. So I have somebody on with a lower approval rating than the president to criticize them. I just kind of thought it was interesting. 874-9390. Scotty, welcome to the show. What can I do for you?
Hey, morning, y'all.
Morning.
You talk about an ornery mom. I have the orneriest mother that the good Lord ever created.
Okay.
She makes all her own costumes. She won every homecoming float for 10 years. That's how creative Mom is. My good friend and I are sitting in, I believe it was social studies class in high school. He's a captain on the basketball team. I'm a captain on the football team. We're popular. Here comes this 80-some-year-old pregnant hula dancer. She's got a pair of false teeth that she tore 2 teeth out of. She's got wire-rimmed glasses bent all to creation with no glass in them. She's made herself up to have a huge belly, saggy legs, and her grass hula skirt was dead grass. And she come in asking for us by name, and me and John are back in the corner like, oh, my God. He's like, man, your mom is something else, dude.
Hey.
That's the way she treated us all through school. People love her, though. She is just some of the shenanigans she's pulled over the years.
Amen. I love that. And Scotty, I said another thing that my mom used to do. Our dad would like yell at us. We'd be in still a picture. I went out and worked with these guys. God, it's been a couple of years ago. But if you get onto the website, pro-pumping.com, you'll see me raking out a septic tank. And I'm in coveralls, gloves, all that good stuff. Kind of interesting. But that's what they do. I don't come out to your house and do that. As much fun as it might be to come out and rake your septic tank, I'm not doing it. Pro Pumping and Hydrojetting does that. And the big thing that they do, they clean out lagoons too, because those you need to clean them out from time to time. And the best thing is you don't want to call them like when things go bad. You want to call them and say, hey, can you put us on a regular kind of like a program thing, a regular service program? I get service on my car. Why not get service on my septic tanks or grease traps or anything else that Pro Pumping and Hydrojetting does? You can see what they do. pro-pumping.com.
Wake Up Columbia with Branden Rathert. It's what happens when you let emotionally unbalanced people play in a room full of microphones. 93.9 The Eagle.
You can feel the madness. St. Peter's pulls off the upset. The Peacocks are giant killers.
Number 15, St. Peter's stuns number 2, Kentucky last night. That's like why we like March Madness. Anything happening in March Madness that caught your attention?
So, I saw a lovely video of a basketball that had gotten stuck behind the backboard, and one of the cheerleaders took it upon themselves to climb up on another cheerleader's shoulders to get the ball down.
Some of those little fun things that happen. Coming up, we are nominating winners and losers of the week. Probably just winners because we don't want to trigger people. Also, coming up before 9 o'clock, maybe some leftovers here on a Feel Good Friday. Getting ready for that Como Man Show. If you are there tomorrow, please come by and see us at our booth. We're going to give you a chance to win T-shirts. Also going to give you a chance to be able to sit at our table at the Boone County Lincoln Days coming up Friday, April the 8th. Join us tomorrow. More info on our website, 939theeagle.com, is where you can get all the info. It's brought to you by Side and Stricker Novi, Shepherd's Distributing, and we also want to thank our friends at Doolittle Trailer Manufacturing. ABC 17 Storm Track forecast, rain today, high 60, rain tonight, 38. A little cooler tomorrow, high maybe mid-50s. That's why you should come join us at the Como Man Show tomorrow, right? Right now, it is 53.
Fox News, I'm Roger Stern. President Biden is speaking with Chinese President Xi Jinping this hour about the war in Ukraine. Fox's Jackie Heinrich looks at what led up to the talk.
The administration described high concern China may provide Russia with weapons for its war in Ukraine. The White House has indicated secondary sanctions against China are on the table.
More now on Tuesday's horrible accident in Texas, in which a truck being driven by a 13-year-old boy collided with a van, killing 9 people, including 6 members of a New Mexico college golf team and their coach who were in the van.
Authorities say the left front tire blew, causing the teen to lose control, drift over the center lane, and slam head-on into that van. The boy's father was with him in the truck. Both were killed.
Fox's Todd Pyro. America is listening to Fox News.
And now award-winning local news coverage with Brian Hauswirth on 93.9 The Eagle.
93.9 The Eagle News Time with Robinson's Cleaners. Robinson saves you time. It is 8:31. We do have some light rain falling right now in Columbia. We're going to be chilly today for sure. Showers and storms. Today's high only about 59 degrees. More rain tonight. Low near 38. Right now 53 in Columbia. Good morning, everyone. Here's some of the stories we are working on for you at this hour. A Columbia man who is charged with a 2017 drug-related killing in Old Hawthorne wants a speedy trial. Prosecutors want a DNA swab from him.
29-year-old Jeffrey McWilliams is charged with second-degree murder for the death of Augustus Roberts. McWilliams has pleaded not guilty and is set to appear in Boone County Circuit Court today at 1 for a motion hearing. McWilliams' attorney has filed a motion to try to stop a warrant for his client's DNA. McWilliams is a well-known Columbia chef who was featured on the Food Network's Restaurant Impossible show in 2019 while he worked at McLank's on Paris Road. Don Luzader, 93.9 The Eagle.
Meantime, a Columbia man could be heading to prison for the rest of his life. He's been convicted of second-degree murder for the 2020 death of his neighbor on Sycamore Hills. A Boone County jury convicting David Myers as well of armed criminal action. Graphic photos shown in the courtroom. Now, Myers took the witness stand. He told jurors he killed Lockwood in self-defense. The victim was stabbed 6 times in the back. He was also stabbed in the chest as well. Governor Parson says Columbia exemplifies workforce development, one of his top priorities. Mayor Brian Treese is happy with that praise. He is also optimistic about that new terminal being built at COU. Mayor describes it as a generational investment. And a popular restaurant closing its South Columbia location for a few weeks due to staffing issues. Just Jeff's making the announcement on its Facebook page. More on this, including a photo. 939theeagle.com. News brought to you this hour by Hemi Construction. Our news time, 8:33. Turning our attention now to sports, the Cardinals and the Astros. 12:05, the first pitch today in spring training down in Florida. Again, 12:05 our time, 1:05 Eastern time. That'll be the first game of spring training, and Cardinals optimistic about their chances this season as well. And Mizzou women, their basketball team season is over. They started this game last night on a 10-0 run, and then Drake in that second half just came alive, especially from the outside. The final score, 83-78 Bulldogs over Mizzou. Mizzou again finishing their year, 18-13. Our sports is brought to you this hour by Missouri Heart Center, comprehensive cardiovascular care in the heart of Missouri, moheartcenter.com. Our time, 8:34. And our traffic check is with midmohires.com. Local companies are looking for local people. Visit midmohires.com to find a job or to post your job opening today. The roads have been pretty quiet here in mid-Missouri. If you want to report a traffic issue, you can call or text us at 573-874-9390. More team coverage in less than 30 minutes, and we have breaking news immediately. I'm Brian Hauswirth, 93.9 The Eagle.
I was talking to my neighbor. He's a big conspiracy theorist. A lot of conspiracies being tossed around right now. You guys into that? How do we feel? Yeah? All right, in person? All right. We didn't land on the moon! Yeah. I was talking to him. He's a flat earther. Is anybody a flat earther here? All right, I don't know why you would identify yourself, but... Right here, let's talk. I want to have a dialogue with you. I was talking to him. He was like, Luke, I think the earth is flat. Sorry if that's not politically correct. I was like, no, that's just regular incorrect, right? You can't just say a crazy conspiracy theory. Like, I don't think Ohio is real. Sorry if that offends you.
Feel Good Friday edition of Wake Up Columbia. Welcome into the show. My name is Branden. Rathert, Brian Hauswirth, Hannah, the producer, is here. Stephanie Bell's going to be back with us here on Monday, and unfortunately, she's going to miss out on the Como Man show. Hope you're going tomorrow. Everybody is going to be there. Tickets, $20 at the door, or if you go online right now, $15. Only $15. 939theeagle.com.
And now for nominees for the winners and losers of the week on 93.9 The Eagle.
All right, your winners and losers of the week. Usually we just do winners of the week because people get triggered whenever we do losers. So who do you have in your back pocket for winners? I love doing winners of the week and losers sometimes. We still pop in losers from time to time. But I love doing it. Brian Hauswirth, who are you putting up for winner of the week?
I've got two nominees here. One more for sports, one for news. St. Peter's basketball team for the huge upset. And I'm, of course, good Catholic boy. I'm a big fan of St. Peter. I really am. I mean, he is, talk about someone who, showed a lot of bravery.
Can I share a story without you? And I don't want to,
Sure.
I'm not trying to make you mad. I don't want to upset anybody, but I am reminded years ago, I think I was in Indiana at the time and drinking, and I had to MC this thing, and I had to make all these announcements. Well, it was like there were events going on, and I'd get up on stage like every 30 minutes, make an announcement, and go back down and hang out with people and do what I did at the time, which was drink. Usually not to the point that it affected my job performance, except on this particular day. So I get up and I'm making all of these announcements, and this is getting towards the end of the event. It's a warm day. I've had plenty to drink. And I'm not giving it my full attention. I've got and I'm reading the stuff, and I get off stage and hand the microphone, and the organizer of the event comes over and says, "Hey, Branden, just so you know," nobody was upset. As a matter of fact, a few people giggled. That is going to be this Saturday, because I was making an announcement. That's going to be Saturday. There is a taffy pool at St. Peter's. Apparently, I got them mixed up when I was on stage. So it's a taffy pool. pool at St. Peter's. I had mixed those up. Who's your other winner of the week?
That's a great story, but a big win for St. Peter's. Indeed, congratulations. And very quickly, Columbia Public Works. They have been out and about doing a lot of snow plowing, and I've seen it. You've seen it as well, and doing a great job on potholes right here in front of the radio station. There were terrible potholes on Lamone Industrial.
Yes.
Terrible potholes.
Yes.
I made them aware of some of those, and a day or two later, they got fixed. I mean, that is very, very quick service. And you want to talk about tearing up a car and those trucks that come by. Now, I hope that continues. That's not easy work, but the big thing that they're encouraging people, if you see a pothole, please call it in. Let them know, because they will come out.
They'll come out, and by the way, in some of these places, there's some nasty potholes. And I know MoDOT, they've been out for several weeks already trying to stay on top of this. And there is, and we've talked to MoDOT about this before, there is a mechanism, like if you suffer or if your car sustains pretty serious damage from a pothole, you can sometimes potentially be reimbursed for the expenses that you incur. And it's almost like trying to get your money back on this gas tax. They ain't making it easy for you, but you can be reimbursed for expenses on your car potentially. And I think you start with MoDOT if you suffer if your car sustains serious damage.
That's right.
There is Hannah, the producer.
Good morning.
Who you got for winners of the week?
So I have two. My first is Brian Hauswirth for calling MoDOT and having them fix the pothole on Lamone Industrial.
Thank you.
Way to go, Brian.
And just to clear, it was Columbia Public Works, since it's a city. Same thing, but yes, thank you so much. And they did they came out, it was like within a day, so that helps. Thank you.
Yes, I know exactly what pothole you're talking about, and it was a doozy.
Oh, goodness, yes.
My second winner of the week is mayoral candidate here in Columbia, Randy Minshew, because he's got people so nervous that he's going to win the election that people are sending the other candidates letters saying, hey, some of you please drop out so we have a better chance at beating Randy.
Yeah.
That means he's winning, right?
Apparently, if you have at least two different letters, apparently different organizations going to the progressive candidates in this race, saying, hey, y'all need to get together, and one of y'all needs to drop out. Now, one of those three that we're talking about, Tanya Heath, Barbara Buffalo, David Seaman, they're being asked, somebody saying, one of y'all got to drop out, otherwise Randy Minshew will win this race. So apparently there's some real fear there. And by the way, and I will say this again, in the mayoral race today, I would vote for Randy Minshew. My second choice, because somebody has asked for Wake Up Columbia's number 2 endorsement. Nobody's ever said, and I don't do endorsements, but somebody has asked for, hey, I understand this is the person you say you're going to vote for, but can you make me your second choice? Sure. Why not? And that would be Tanya Heath. Third Ward, City Council. Vote there would be Roy Lovelady. I don't know why. Something about his personality. And Carl Scala, frankly, he's been there too long. He is too comfortable. He absolutely needs to go. Carl Scala does. In the Fourth Ward, this is an easy one. Talk about somebody who really wants to do something. Somebody of good moral character. Somebody who behaves in a way that we all aspire to behave like. It would be Nick Foster in that race. You want somebody with good moral value, somebody who really cares about the city with no, business-wide interest in how this is going to affect me. Nick Foster would be the guy that I would vote for there. Mayor, obviously, Randy Minshew. Number 2 choice for Mayor, Tanya Heath. School Board, Andrea Lisenby, Adam Burks, and I think a severe, and I hate to do this because kids could eventually be affected, but the school bond issue, Columbia Public Schools, that needs to be a no, because people here in this community, I'll tell you what, they've done so well over the past couple of years, especially the past year, standing up, going, wait a minute, look at what's happening here. You have a progressive teachers group that's trying to meddle in local politics instead of letting a democratic process play out. You've got these ridiculous rules put into place. You have a superintendent on 93.9 The Eagle, I don't think, who won't answer the question regarding CRT and then says, no, we'll never teach it. And then we find out that it's happening. It's happening. And they'll say, well, it's not happening because there's no classes, there's no books. They are lying to you. They are lying to you. It's absolutely happening there. So, and poor communication with parents, with teachers. No, on the school bond issue. Other winners of the week. So you've got Hauswirth for calling Columbia City Works to come out and fix potholes.
Yes.
I am going to nominate this dude for one of our winners of the week.
As the day goes on, I look forward to others will be coming to the floor here in a moment. You'll see it's an eclectic collection of members of the United States Senate in favor of what we've just done here in the Senate, and that's to pass a bill to make a daylight savings time permanent.
So that was quick and unexpected. That was unexpected. Nobody really knew it was going to be brought up and how it moved through so fast. There's the process in the Senate where you could bring up something, and if nobody opposes, you'd go almost straight to a vote on without it having to come out of a committee. Also, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, have to nominate him, not just for his rousing speech before members of the House, before our elected servants in Washington, D.C., just everything about this guy. Like, he will not back down. He is all about his country, protecting his people, his country. We used to have something like that here not too long ago, and we don't have that anymore. We just don't, and we did. So, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, also Mizzou wrestling. They're at the national championships this weekend. Mizzou women's basketball, despite losing in the WNIT yesterday, you got to give it up. Frankly, they should have went to the NCAA tournament, but they didn't because that's just the way that the ball rolls sometimes. Is this winner worthy this week?
Sometimes, not always, but sometimes, particularly in this instance, President Biden has a wishbone where his backbone ought to be.
Is that winner? Okay, we're not naming him the winner. We are nominating him as a winner. Is that worthy of a nomination?
I would say probably.
All right, so I'm nominating that dude. Other nominees of the week, I want to nominate this guy for just nice comments about the show off the text, 874-9390. Aaron says, Branden, I don't smile, but I do laugh my ass off listening to you wonderful folks in the mornings. That's what I am thankful for. Winner of the week from James. Yeah, winner of the week, whoever it is that helps get rid of daylight saving time.
You know, I'm glad that there's at least one other person in the world that thinks we're as funny as we do.
I think it was my dad, he'd always used to say, and this would hurt. Say, you're not as funny as you think you are, Branden. That was painful. It was like when I was in my 20s, and I'd be talking to him, and my grandpa would do this too, and I'd go into this, long speech about how, I knew this, and I'd offer opinions, and when they knew I was just being dumb and young, because that's what you do when you're young. We all did it. They would just look at me and go, okay, which is kind of like, what do they say in the South?
Bless your heart.
That's what they were doing. But in the Midwest, they just say, okay. Okay, Branden. So those are some of the nominees for the winners of the week here on 93.9. Oh, and Dolly Parton. I've got to nominate Dolly Parton, and here's why. She's nominated to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Dolly Parton politely told the folks at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, hey, no thanks, because I haven't done rock music. I'd like to do a rock album one day, but just not doing it. Now, update this morning, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame says, well, we're keeping her on the ballot. So I'm grateful that Dolly Parton, because if Dolly Parton could do it, can't Daryl Hall and can't Hall & Oates? Company. They are changing the way more and more people, and it's because of, at least here where we live, it's because of Atterbury Auction and Real Estate really changing what people are thinking about bidding and auctions and things like that. So here's where you start if you want to get in on this movement. You go to AtterburySells.com. Atterbury, AtterBerry, like a berry. AtterburySells.com. Right now, you will find on there in South Columbia, beautiful log home, 60 acres, offered in tracts or in its entirety. And you can look at the pictures of this. I'm looking at it now. Beautiful log cabin and land. And there's all kinds of other cool things. There's an older farmhouse and a pond. I'm looking at the pictures of this, and I'm like, man, if this is your thing, this is like where you want to go on Fridays. If you live here in Columbia, you dip away to this home. And you go and you can hide out. You can check out. We're big fans here on the show of checking out. This is a place where you could check out of reality for just a few days. And you can see it by going to atterburysells.com. Now, this is the online bidding ends April 26th. People used to think, oh, we gotta show up we have an auction that starts at 11, but we gotta show up at 7 so that we don't have to park in a different town to walk to this auction. It's not like that right now. Check it out. They're changing the game, man. atterburysells.com.
This show includes language and or cultural stereotypes that are inconsistent with today's standards of inclusion and tolerance and may offend some listeners. But not you. You get it. 93.9 The Eagle.
Dear members of the entertainment community. We know that you're more famous than any of us.
Well,
I'm mad.
Distressed. Alarmed.
Infuriated.
It's your job to be creative.
Creative.
And yet, how many of these lame-ass videos have you made that look exactly like this?
You've seen the commercials on the TV, they're chatting with the celebrity and they're not facing the camera, they're looking off to the side, and they get all the montage, people saying the same thing, and it's used to play on people's emotions. Look at what we're doing. We're horrible people because we're not making exceptions for every single different group of this and that. I love that. You're Hollywood. You'd be more creative than the commercial we've seen a million times. Feel Good Friday edition of Wake Up Columbia. Tina says today she is grateful. She is feeling good about laughter. I love that. We've had a lot of that this morning. That's one of the things that we try to do here on Wake Up Columbia. I'll tell you, there's nothing more satisfying than you chat with somebody. And this is not, I'm not saying this to brag on Stephanie or Brian or Hannah. I'm saying this to brag on myself.
I knew that's exactly where that was headed.
That's how well I know my dear sweet Hannah. She knows where I'm going. But seriously, I tell you, it's a very satisfying thing when people say, hey, I love your show. Because people will say that all the time. Love your show, like you. Okay. What is it? Because there's some other radio stations you could listen to. But why do you choose this morning show on 93.9 The Eagle? And it's just a question I like to ask. Why do you choose this show? And it's maybe something rhetorically you could answer yourself right now. Maybe if you're in the car and cruising and you may be looking at your radio, maybe turning it up, going, yeah, why do I choose to listen to this? And I will tell you this. The other thing I want to tell you is we have much admiration for you because we understand you have a choice. And we've seen in very recent history here in America and here in mid-Missouri, i.e. specifically Columbia, where you didn't always have freedom. Your freedoms have been taken away from you over the past 2 years. But you have a freedom to choose your radio station when you're going to work in the morning, when you're driving around in the afternoon, maybe listening to the Randy Tobler show from 4 to 6. You have a choice. And it is really an honor, I think, and a privilege to know that right now, by virtue of you listening or watching on YouTube, on our 93.9 The Eagle YouTube channel, or watching on the Wake Up Columbia Facebook page, it is absolutely an honor and a privilege to know that you have made the choice to listen to Wake Up Columbia on 93.9 The Eagle. And yeah, because, we do news, and we talk about really one of the hottest questions we've asked in a long time. This is very controversial this morning, but sometimes by its very nature, we have to be controversial.
Are there more wheels or doors in the world?
More wheels or doors. Half an hour. People very passionate about it.
People also very not passionate about it.
Yeah. And to those people, I say, hey, and so that's one of the things we try to do. It's always, and we've always tried to do that here. It's just, hey, here's the news. Here's what's happening in town. Here's what's happening nationally. Here's what's happening in Jefferson City. Here's what's happening in Centralia and Ashland and Callaway County and California and all these places. Here's what's happening, and maybe we can lighten it up. Because I know, man, you go into work sometimes and we hear about a lot of these heavy news stories that are happening, and I get it. It can weigh a human being down. I understand that, and that's why we say, hey, here's what's going on today, and here's how it's interesting. Here's how it affects you. And so I just want to say that we are absolutely honored that you make the choice to listen to 93.9 The Eagle and Wake Up Columbia. We'll see you Monday.